I have started the stream. Should be starting. Let's see.
All right, I'll start the recording.
Look at that.
Hey.
We're here pretty much on time. How's it going, everybody?
Ooh.
All right. I'm talking for a bit. AJ's going to talk. Chat, I want you to tell us how we sound. And then was he higher or lower? AJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal. I just poured myself some Angel's Envy. I'm ready to go.
Oh, thought you're taking this seriously.
That's right. Look, this is a real drink for real men.
Yeah, I never drink when podcasting. I would never.
Of course,
I'm trying to class to join up after your disgusting Inglings.
Ugh, those are gross. Those are rough. Levels are good. Okay. Going to tweet, and we're gonna get started pretty soon here. Everybody, hope everybody's doing well. If you don't know, Jeff is traveling, so that's why I've got the Edge guy with me.
Till I see evidence that the world is round, I'm not believing a damn thing.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Dr. Reichert.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Dan Riker for you, baby.
What am I doing?
Oh, where is my? I have a clip of Paul Riker saying. I have a clip of Paul Riker back, but I can't find it.
It's a fabrication. It's not true. We made it up. It's a lie.
This one was written by writers.
I love when anyone just posts like the 8-minute version of that for something
I
on
love
Twitter.
That clip so much.
No, the best is when they slow it down a little bit so it sounds like a drunk guy just rambling.
The Nintendogs has a lot to talk about.
Oh, there you go. Found it.
You ever go a wandering beneath the pale blue moon?
All right.
Oh, there you go.
All right. I think we're just about ready here. Again, AJ, you are not going to hear the intro music.
Okay.
But you'll know when to start because I'll start talking. They'll hear it, though. Like, you all hear this right now, right?
Hey, you guys hear
Chat,
me?
not you guys.
Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with.
Hear that, chat? You hear. All right, fantastique.
Fantastique. Where you turn French?
We are a little French, I'll have you know. Actually, right, AJ?
We think a little bit. Our grandfather's adopted.
AJ.
He might be mostly
Yes.
French, partly French.
Say yes.
Just back
Like, they need to know the details, okay?
Just say yes.
What are you
All right.
preparing? You're always preparing. Just do it.
I'm gonna get started here now. All right, everybody, we're gonna go. Gonna play the music and get us going.
Okay.
Wait for the mods to leave because people are gonna hear my Discord noises. Sean needs to stay there because he's doing a thing. That's right. Okay, here we go.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm AJ Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, Nintendo has a financial report. Our Switch sales slowing down. A new Nintendo event. Nintendo is being aggressive about emulators. There's a lot going on. And man, this is we're just a few more sleeps away from Tears of the Kingdom. So busy time for Nintendo fans. But first, AJ Minotti, my kin, my elder brother, how is it going?
Oh, it is going good, young one. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I'm feeling pretty good. There's a lot to do. It's kind of hard to believe Tears of the Kingdom is coming out soon. Thank you for joining me. Jeff is traveling, everybody, so AJ has come on in to fill in some space, which he is excellent at. You're the best
Thank you.
at it. Is what I say.
Thank you so much.
Every time the parents say, how do you think AJ's doing? I say he's filling up space fantastically.
I'm always doing it. It's just practice makes perfect.
Yeah. So hey, thank you all for joining us live. If you are watching live, please do hit that like button. We appreciate it. It helps more people find the show. Also, you can send in super chats. We've got a few here already. We will read and answer any questions from super chats during the show today. They are very appreciated. Thank you all so much.
Or don't. I don't see any of that money.
Well, I'll take you out to dinner sometime. How about that?
Ooh.
There you go. Outback, guys. Got the good stuff. Tell you what, we'll get some cheese fries. We'll be good to go.
Oh, we're gonna get those authentic Australian chook ribs.
What's that? What's this about?
It's just like barbecue chicken thighs, but they're like, it's an authentic Australian preparation style where it eats like a rib, but it's actually chicken. I Googled this. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing.
It's not an authentic Australian thing?
I asked ChatGPT. It never heard of it. It just took me to Outback.
Great. I'm glad. Well, if ChatGPT says then. Man, I really am just shocked that Tears of the Kingdom is actually a game we're going to play soon. It is always weird. There's always like these games that you just think about forever and like, oh, that will be out someday, I guess. And then it just actually does come out. It's always this, like Elden Ring did that. Gosh, I remember when that game was Kingdom Hearts 3 for a while because they talked about for that. But yeah, here it is. This game is actually just going to be out. There's people playing it.
It's weirder
right
when
now.
it's weird when it's not like a holiday or a console launch. Like it's just May and like a Zelda's coming out. Like that just feels weird.
Yeah, I guess that is a little bit. I don't know. Like the games have started like spreading out so much recently. It's not that weird to me anymore, to be honest. It used to be. You're right, but I mean, especially when Elden Ring came out in like what February or March that like one time. It's like no,
right.
The most important game of the year can actually just come out at any moment anymore. That's just how this all works.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's fine. All right, let's get into it because, like I said, there is a lot to talk about. And kind of first up here, Nintendo had their financial results for the fiscal year ending in March 2023. So we got lots of fun data and stuff here. First off here, the Switch has now sold 125.62 million consoles worldwide. This includes all SKUs.
Like, that's a lot of Switches.
It is a lot of Switches. But this is actually a decline, 22.1% year on year. So they sold 17.97 million units this year. Now, they blame this on shortages of semiconductors and other components impacting production until around the end of summer last year. They also, and they did not experience growth in sales during the holiday season that they saw in the year before that. That makes some sense. It was kind of a slow holiday aside from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which did sell well. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Speaking to Bloomberg, CEO Furukawa said that he admitted the company's 50 million units target for the current fiscal year is ambitious and labels it now as a bit of a stretch, but did note the company aims to bolster demand going into the holiday season in order to achieve the lofty goal. But they also said no new hardware this fiscal year. Now, some people are maybe desperately trying to interpret that as, or maybe they're right, I don't know. Well, he says that their fiscal targets don't consider new hardware. So maybe they'll announce something. I still don't think anything is coming out soon. In fact, there is a rumor, a source told Nikkei, something about the Switch hardware saying that development seems to be progressing well. A source close to Nintendo told Nikkei Asia. But a product launch won't happen before next spring at the earliest. Okay, there's a lot there. Let's talk about the slowing Switch sales. Because, look, this is an aging console now. It's in its 7th year. And this last fiscal year didn't have the super giant bangers like some past years did, maybe aside from Pokemon. But otherwise, you were having smaller releases, like a Bayonetta 3, like a Xenoblade, Fire Emblem. Games that are beloved, but they're not going to do 10 million copies or even really
gamers
close
games.
To that. The gamers games, yes, absolutely, AJ. I always said you were a gamer. You knew about the heart of the gamer. That sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh thing now. But I don't know. You think this is a problem? There's obviously going to be some bounce back when Zelda comes out. And we also don't know if there was a Mario movie boost that happened. We don't know, because again, this ended in March, so we don't know if the Mario movie coming out made a lot of people rush to get Switches who hadn't gotten one before. So yeah, I don't know. What's your take on a lot of this?
I mean, I think the age of the console is certainly part of it. It's old hardware now, not just from a technological standpoint, but it's been around now. You know, we've had many years of the Switch, longer than the Wii U, getting close to the Wii as far as age goes, and just people don't need them right now. I guess if you wanted a Switch, you've probably got one since the launch, and then we still had those huge highs of the pandemic. That they're never going to match that in this hardware cycle ever again. So there's no chance of that, occurring. And there have been these persistent rumors of new Switch hardware. Maybe that has people who are gun shy, who would rather just wait to see what's around the corner because it has been so long.
Yeah, I think the hunger is really strong now. And of course it has been for a while for a new Switch. It's maybe getting desperate. And Nintendo, I'm sure, is aware of that. We are almost certainly getting close to them having to at least announce a new Switch. Maybe, probably even this year. Definitely not coming out this year. But I don't think that Tears of the Kingdom is the swan song because they have to have a holiday game still because there's not going to be new hardware. So it's got to be something else. But we've got to be coming close to that announcement. And that's kind of the other thing here is, when are we going to hear about some of this stuff? Jeff is reporting that Sony is going to be doing its show at the end of this month. We know Xbox has a showcase around Summer Game Fest. Now, Nintendo has sort of announced this Nintendo Live thing, and we'll talk about that later. But this is more like a fan festival. They've even said no new game announcements there. I have to look at the wording again. They may not have specifically said no hardware announcements, but I'm going to assume no announcements there. But, it's still, if they announce stuff during the summer, that stuff can then be at this thing to play. Those won't be new game announcements. So when are we going to hear from them? And I guess what are we expecting? Do we think this summer we are going to hear, hey, here's the Switch 2 or here's the big holiday game and here's what that is?
So I know that they had like the big Switch showcase like a month before the launch of the hardware. When did we get like the first proper announcement of like, yeah, there's this new thing, it's NX or whatever it's called. Like, did that just drop?
You know what's funny is I more vividly remember that day when they revealed what the Revolution actually was. I remember us watching that video in that old like office room in the house we grew up in. I remember that vividly. Probably one of the last things we did in that house before we moved out of it.
Right.
But I'm not actually 100% sure with the Revolution. But do you think we're getting a direct this summer? And do you think it's going to have hardware?
I don't think, because again,
really,
if they want to sell something this holiday, they can't announce new hardware because then people will definitely hold off. They'll let the holiday play out so they can sell as much as they can. Whatever they have cooked up for the holiday, if it's a new Pokemon, if it's a new Mario, who knows? After the holiday in like that early 2024, I think that's when you announce it for release, possibly within 6 months. But you don't want to hurt those holiday sales.
I guess
the Wii U, it didn't matter because the Wii U was effectively dead. You weren't going to hurt holiday sales. There were no sales to hurt.
Sure, but I mean, like a PlayStation 4 still had to release like a Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2, even though we knew PlayStation 5 was coming. And look, there's probably going to be this continuation. They talked about, Phil Spencer talked about this, how important that digital game library is, how important that Xbox One generation was for them, because people started building these digital libraries that are just going to continue forever. Now, I know Nintendo's weird. They could still do something weird, like say, this is a total reset. None of those games are going to work. And most people expect there to be full continuity, full backward compatibility. But, so, even if they don't do hardware, though, I still think there has to be some kind of a Nintendo Direct, because then the other thing is, what's the holiday game? What is it? Because we have no idea right now.
Right. Is it a Mario? Is it Donkey Kong? Is it something else? We have no clue. I mean, obviously there'll be most likely a Pokemon. But beyond that, we have no idea.
We're not going to be Pokemon. We're just getting the DLC. That's going to be the Pokemon thing for this holiday.
You don't think they'll have a remake up their sleeves too this year?
I don't think so. Not this. I think it's just
interesting.
The DLC for this year.
I don't know, because I feel like you don't get as much of a pop from DLC. It's always going to be a percentage, you know?
Maybe. DLC for Sword and Shield did do really well. I mean, you're right. I think a full thing would do better. Look, maybe we can still hear about that. But hey, Game Freak's got something else cooking now too, anyway.
Right? That's wild.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think there's got to be a Direct. I am more iffy on if they announce hardware then. But I do think we have to at least hear about some of these holiday games, like the big game and maybe a couple smaller support things. But again, what's that game? Because Mario, it's like, well, yeah, that'd be great for this holiday, and it's time. But then
Yeah, but don't you save that for the launch of your new system.
Right. But hey, maybe you say, well, we can put that out, and hey, it'll work on the new systems, and then we'll have Mario Kart 9 or 10 if they're counting Mario Kart Tour now. That could be the big launch game anyways, right? That's fine. But they had to know that the Switch did so well because that first year lineup was so incredible, and they kind of had to position things for that. And maybe it just means, yeah, the end of the regular Switch, the first Switch is going to be a little dry because they gotta shore stuff up for a little bit. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping we hear about something like a direct soon.
A difference that they have too is that there is some live service stuff that can sustain them. Tons of kids play Fortnite on their Switch. There's other free to play games that are on the system. You have DLC to sell. So they can get by in a way that they never could in the past with a drier tail to the system to shore up a really strong launch.
I think that's right. All right, let's talk about some software now. Because Switch software has surpassed 1 billion. That's the first Nintendo console to do that. So it's selling just an absolute ton of games. So even though, I'm not sure if Switch is going to surpass the DS, which is like 150 million sold, it might not get there. DS had an advantage of that. There were so many iterations of it and so many people buying 1, 2, 3 maybe DSs each time there was an upgrade. Right. And there's a little bit of that with the Switch and the Switch line in the OLED. I don't think there was as much upgrading as people did during the DS generation. And DSs were also cheaper. That's a whole other thing, too. I wonder if the holiday lineup is light enough, I wonder if there's actually a price drop. It's hard to imagine, but maybe they'll drop the price of a Switch for the first time ever or what have you. I don't know. So some software sales specifically, like I said, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold 22.1 million copies.
Is insane to me. I know it's Pokemon, but that's just such an astronomical number. And again, with the technical issues that game had, it's like you wish it kind of didn't, so they'd learn something maybe, but they don't. They're not gonna.
I know a lot of people still really like that game. It's fine. If I kind of feel like they can't keep getting away with it. That's just
maybe they can.
A game that with that level of performance should not sell over 20 million copies, but it's Pokemon, so of course it's going to. It is. Right. It is like a little upsetting. It's a little annoying, but hey. Of course, it sold like bananas. Splatoon 3, 10.6 million. So that continues to just be a giant franchise. Yes.
Do you think Halo Infinite sold through 10.6 million copies?
No. And I know Game Pass is a thing, but even if Game Pass wasn't a thing, I wonder how much did Halo 3 ever sell back in the day? Was it 10 million? Maybe. But geez.
Maybe not.
You have to remember that with these numbers too. Just how big it is. Sony today threw a big hoopla because Horizon Forbidden West sold 7 million copies. And they're right, that is great. But a lot of Nintendo stuff's on a different level. Now, kind of bringing some of that stuff back down to earth, here's a series of games that didn't sell astronomically well, but over 1 million copies. Like Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, 1.46 million.
Still new.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a remaster. It's cute. I know that Kirby and the Forbidden Land has been doing really well. I think I didn't write that one down, but over 5 million, I think now. Fire Emblem Engage, 1.61 million. That's doing well. It's not quite keeping in the pace that Three Houses had, which isn't a surprise to me. I don't think it ever looked as appealing. I think,
right.
I know I was outspoken against it when it started. It kind of came around on it a bit, and then eventually dropped it, but was fine doing that. I still like the game. But yeah, I do think its presentation, it's more, I don't want to say anime, because of course regular Fire Emblem is anime, but you know what I mean. There was something a little bit less
white hair,
universal appealing perhaps about this one. It's a bit more fan servicey. It's a bit more colorful. I don't know how to quantify it. Maybe one of those anime nerds can. I'll ask them later. But yeah.
Also, I do think the way it had all the other characters when you already had a gacha game on mobile, that the whole thing was all the other characters. I don't know if that made people think it was this weird.
That's kind of what I thought.
Free-to-play-ish thing.
That's almost what I thought at first. Yeah, So is this a gotcha? It's not a gotcha. So
No, it's not at all. But yeah.
Sean's saying I just had it with anime. Yeah, it is like it was the most anime of the Fire Emblems, and maybe a little bit. Maybe you pull that back just a smidge next time, but it's still doing well. Now, this one I'm trying to wrap my brain around if I think this is good or not, because I'm just not sure. Metroid Prime Remastered sold 1.09 million copies.
Now, where do these? I need to ask you. Where do these numbers come from? Is it digital? Is it physical?
It's both. This is just straight from Nintendo. This is everything.
Okay, wow.
This is an MPD
wow.
where it's
thought
like
it'd be
no
a little
digital.
more.
Well, yeah, it's like that's the thing. It's like, well, hey, look, it's selling almost as well as like the new Fire Emblem and like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is almost at 2 million. A game that gets talked about that much, right? Like it still is kind of niche. I guess there's a part of me. It's like, why is Metroid Prime selling like that and not?
Yeah, like why is that not like 3 million?
Right,
why is that not Luigi's Mansion 3 numbers?
Right, and I get it's not that, and I get it can't even beat Kirby in the Forgotten Land. But man, here's this really good remake. Really, maybe they shouldn't have called it remastered because it really is practically a remake of maybe the best game of all time, one of the best reviewed games of all time. This comes out and is received so well, and it's still like, man, we're still just at like 1 million.
I mean,
the number.
Was the limited physical quantities a hindrance, you think?
Maybe, but a lot of people just bought it digitally. If anything, it seemed to kind of help because then a lot of freaks just bought a physical version of it to own.
Yeah, they bought both.
So I don't know if that really hurt it that much. And I get like Metroid just does have this ceiling for some reason. I just wish that we could kind of break through that because these games are so good. It should be doing more than that. So again, I don't know how to read this. Part of me is like, hey, maybe this is, I don't know what their targets were. Maybe this is great. But it certainly doesn't look like a super strong home run. If we were hoping that
it's not a slam dunk, yeah.
If we were hoping the numbers were going to be so good that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 were going to get similar big boy remasters, no. It is probably going to be like what Jeff is hearing. There are more simple ports than the big job that they did with this game. It's such a good remaster. Like, again, there's 125 million Switches out there. There should be more than 1 out of 125 Switch owners who own this game, I guess. Is how I feel about that. But yeah, like Dread did do better. So but again, we haven't gotten an update on that. So it is probably like 3 to 4 million. Even then, it's like maybe a little bit more. It does feel like Prime 4 is going to be the big chance for this series to maybe finally break that 5 million mark. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
see. Also, still don't know when we're going to hear about that game. I don't think that's going to be a fall
Is that
game.
the holiday game?
I mean, it could be. I'd be surprised. But like part of that surprise is just because it's Metroid Prime 4. It's like a game I know is going to come out someday, but I never expect it to be soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's the problem with Metroid, just that series in general. That's a game that's going to get by somewhat on its looks. So maybe that is like one that makes sense to hold off for the next hardware too, so it can look as good as possible.
Yeah, and I know Jeff thinks like, oh, maybe that'll be a cross-gen game. I almost do hope that maybe just save that as a big boy Switch game. Now, granted, if you scope it like Metroid Prime Remastered did, that game looks very good. That might be the best looking Switch game. So it could look good on the normal Switch, but I do want to see how good that can look on a Switch 2 and all that stuff. So a couple other things here. The 2 best-selling Switch games, here's where their numbers are now. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has now sold 53.79 million copies. Crazy. Animal Crossing New Horizons 42.21 million copies.
Mario Kart 8 almost has a 50% attach rate. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it's pretty nuts. You're right. It's a little bit less than that. But yeah, that is the game people are most likely to buy. Hey, look, Jeff's in chat. Hi, Jeff. How's it going? Aren't you on a... No, you're not playing. You're flying out tomorrow. Yeah, have safe travels, dude. Hope you're doing well. He said, I stopped caring about this channel when Jeff Grubb left. Wow. Oh, just kidding. Jeff is a silly dude who... Hey, Jeff, what do you think about Metroid Prime's numbers? Because I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think it's bad, but it also doesn't... We had the same song and dance with Dread. We're like, yeah, that's not bad. I sure do wish it did more. But hey, them's the breaks. All right, so that's it. And I don't know if you had any last thoughts about the financials here. Because again, no, I didn't write the number. I forget what it was. They still made a lot of money.
Oh, sure. It's fine.
Nintendo.
They're fine.
But hardware is slowing down. So we're going to see what the plan is for that soon. It does make you think, hey, it is going to be time to start talking about the next Switch soon. I know you think it might not happen before holiday. I think it could. You have to do it at some point. I know it's going to impact sales. Some point you got to pull that trigger. You got to start getting people thinking about the next thing.
Just depends what game they have for the holiday, I guess.
Yeah, true. So that Nintendo show, by the way, this isn't like a Nintendo Direct where there's going to be a bunch of announcements. This is actually sort of a fan festival happening concurrent to PAX West. It's called Nintendo Live, and it is going to be going on from September 1st to September 4th at the Seattle Convention Center. Tickets will be free, kind of available via lottery, and you'll be given a chance to get those from May 31st to June 22nd. This is going to host some playable game demos, stage events like some music acts and tournaments. There's going to be like a special store and other themed entertainment. So this is pretty interesting. I can't recall them doing something like this in a long time. I know I heard Jeff speculate like, hey, maybe this is where some of that old budget that used to go towards stuff like E3 is going now. But hey, that sounds neat. I would certainly not mind attending this, but we'll see how.
Yeah, are you allowed?
Well,
you don't have your face with a big like circle with the line through
yeah, I
it?
guess. Yeah, I am definitely too good to have to like get into this lottery meant for the peons and the plebs of the world. So if I can't,
that might be your only option.
Yeah, if I can't get a press pass, I'm not going. I'm too special. I host one of the top Nintendo podcasts in the world, sirs. How dare you?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? But yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun. I haven't actually gone to anything like this. We haven't even been to a PAX in forever. We went to the first two PAX Easts.
Yeah, 2010 and 2011.
Yeah, over 10 years ago. We had a great time, but then like you and Chris started building families and shit, and then it started getting hard to go out
real fast.
Yeah, right. But it was a really fun time for a while. I don't know what my excuse is. I could go to these things whenever. Yeah. But it is always hard. Like PAX East is always happening sort of this time where there's a lot of birthdays in our family around.
Well, it's always Easter time too.
Easter time. It's just like the last thing I'm thinking about, and a bunch of other stuff. But we'll see. I hope that this is fun. I hope. Again, I'm not expecting like big announcements, but Nintendo does such a good job, even at E3, just making these really cool themed demo stations. I remember the one they did for Luigi's Mansion 3 was awesome. The one time they made their floor space look like New Donk City for Mario Odyssey. The Zelda stuff was incredible. They're really good at that. So I think building that for the public like this would be a lot of fun. But again, they're not going to announce games. People are going to be playing game demos. Well, they must be playing something aside from like Pikmin 4 and Tears of the Kingdom that are already out, right?
Right.
Like they're going to be playing something here. So that's, again, why I feel like there's got to be some kind of a show. And I think it'll be show. I think they'll do a direct. I don't think they're going to, reveal it in a tweet. I think they know they got to come out a little bit stronger than that. Maybe not shadow drop things. This too about Metroid Prime. Because I know I got yelled about this before. But I wonder if that game would have sold more. If it just had like a proper marketing campaign.
Mike hates the shadow drop.
Well, I like shadow drops, but I just like I'm not. Did Hi-Fi Rush and Metroid Prime Mirror Master, would both of those have maybe done better if one, they weren't shadow dropped, and two, they weren't almost randomly discounted. Like and again, I'm happier for people to have to pay only $40 for that game. Even though that's another reason I feel like it should have sold more. But I wonder if the vast majority of those people would have also happily paid $60 for Metroid Prime. Right. I don't know.
But I don't know. It just feels like we learned nothing from the Sega Dreamcast or Sega Saturn, excuse me.
Sega Saturn. Right. Like, look, are marketing campaigns real? Do those actually help games or not? Because if they don't...
As someone who works in marketing, I like to think that they do.
All right, wait. Breaking news, Edge Guy. Breaking news. According to chat here, I'm gonna look to confirm this, but this is exciting stuff. What do you think it could possibly be?
Silksong delayed?
Silksong is delayed. This is according to Matthew Griffin, who's, according to his Twitter bio, marketing and publishing for Hollow Knight Silksong at Team Cherry Games and Crownsworn. He says, "Hey, gang, just a quick update about Silksong. We had planned to release in the first half of 2023, but development is still continuing. We're excited by how the game is shaping up, and it's gotten quite big, so we want to take the time to make the game as good as we can. Expect more details from us once we get closer to release." So this is interesting because this game never had a release date. It did show up at that Microsoft show last year that said all these games are coming out in the next 12 months. We're past that, and this never showed up. So this is a delay in the sense that we now know that they thought it was going to come out in the first half of this year, and they're now openly just admitting it's not in a tweet. Jeff says more time for me to beat the first one. I won't. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, there it is. We don't know when we're going to hear about this game. I am pretty shocked. Like, Silksong is really good, and that first game was huge. And it's nice to hear that this isn't just kind of some guidance, smaller game, what have you. This is going to be Silksong 2. That is the expectation now. It's going to be huge. But again, this was a game I did play at the last E3, and that was like, 2019 or whatever it was. Like, it is weird that, like, you went from a playable build to... like 5 years for this 2D.
No, it's taking up too much VRAM on PC, and there's performance issues in performance mode, and
it's just the thing. Like, yeah, games take longer to make than ever, of course. But there is something like, man, even like a Hollow Knight. But those games are really gorgeous. There's a lot of great art. I can see why they take so long, but it is surprising, and it is a small team, so sure. I bet they really wish they didn't announce it as early as they did, but hey, there it is.
Hi, Rachel, by the way. I saw you come in. But
I have never been more... Usually, I'm pretty good at knowing when people will like games. I have still never been more confused about, like, somehow Jeff Grubb, like you and my other brother Chris, not being into Hollow Knight, because it seems very similar and much better than other games that you like. Jeff loves Metroidvanias, and this is maybe the best one ever, and Jeff's like, I don't like it. I'm like, well, why? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I know it's not all about me, but it almost feels like it's like a campaign to spite me.
I think my issue with it, I will try to revisit it this summer once the next month's deluge calms down. It's too combat focused and not enough platform focused from what I played before you jump down my throat. It is pretty
combat heavy, but like so are the Castlevania ones.
Yeah, but not Ori, and Ori's kind of where I am with my Metroidvanias now, and I don't know. I just preferred that, I guess.
You're like too much. You become the opposite of what I'm becoming. Like, I hate the what do we call those chill games or whatever? Cozy games. I'm anti-cozy game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I give me all the cozy games.
Yeah, now you're like not even playing Resident Evil 4 Remake because you think it's too stressful, and it upsets me.
Look, my day is 22 hours of stress.
It's a video game. It's not stressful. Go shoot some zombies. It'll be fun. You better beat that game for the end of the year. I'll beat you.
Me, okay?
I'll beat you. Silksong is not coming out anytime soon by the sounds of it, everybody.
Oh, well.
So that's a shame. Hey, that might be a Switch 2 game. It'll come out on other things, but there you go. Hey, Nintendo has been aggressively going after emulators. They seems like Tears of the Kingdom leaking and a lot of people downloading that really pushed them over the edge here. They are aggressively going after some of these emulators, and they're just getting removed off of GitHub, while other people are just like, I'm getting out now because I'm scared of Nintendo. I don't blame them.
Do you want the actual details of this? Because I actually read this.
All right, you can give me some actual details, Edge Guy.
So there was, I don't have the name in front of me, but there's a Android-based Switch emulator that was still under development. They're the one that shut down because it basically, it only worked if you dumped the games using modded hardware and got the access keys that way. So even though like it falls in that kind of legal area of emulation, because it only worked by using a modified system, which is, I guess, more gray area, Nintendo felt justified going after that, and that scared some other developers away. But the two big ones, Yuzu and Ryujinx, I believe is how you'd say it. They're not going anywhere. They're still perfectly legal emulation. I don't know what Nintendo, if anything, could do to them except just try to bully them with the threat of legal action. But in theory, it shouldn't work. Turboshan's telling me that's how all of them work. So I wonder why they're not as scared about the whole access key thing. But yeah, I mean, that was always a weird thing about the Switch. Like,
wow, Sean, you sure know a lot about Nintendo Switch emulators.
How do you know so much about it? Yeah, weird. But like, you would never be like, oh, I'll just emulate this Xbox Series X game on my PC, or even an Xbox One game or a PS4 game. But the Switch, like, not only was it emulatable, but it ran better than native hardware.
Well, that's what pushed so much of it.
So weird.
Well, that's what pushes so much of it. Is that people want to play.
I always wondered,
Breath of the Wild in 60 frames per second.
Would it be so hard for Nintendo to have some way of officially putting these games on PC? and say, hey, like, yeah, like if you want
No.
Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom in 4K 60 frames, like we have that.
AJ,
Because if these people
then
can do
they'd
it,
be officially putting those games on Steam Deck
yeah,
and stuff
but
like
I
that. There's
don't know.
no
Are they
way.
selling hardware? Are they selling games? I don't know. I
There's
don't know.
0%
I know.
chance.
Okay, I am drinking, Jeff. I'm just saying. I'm like, if you can't beat them, join them.
There's
Right?
no way they're doing that.
Am I
They're
right?
Did you look, aside from the Switch sales going down, did you hear those numbers I was reading to you a moment ago?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
look,
imagine, would you buy Breath of the Wild again if it was running at 4K 60 and it was like an
Absolutely.
official thing?
absolutely I would. They already sold
It's working for Sony. Sony's
Is it
doubling
working?
down
It's working
on
okay.
PC.
Yeah, well,
No, they
do you know
they've said they're making money on
they're
it.
making
That's why
money
they're
on
going to
it, but
continue
the
investing.
reason they did that in the first place was because they desperately want their games to sell as much as Nintendo games do, and they need PC to be able to do that. Nintendo doesn't need to do PC, especially when they're riding high. Now, maybe the next time there's a dip, and someday there will be a dip again, just like how last time there was a dip, they went to mobile. Maybe next time then they'll go to PC. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's not out of their own possibility, but
maybe.
yes, I do agree. It is a long shot.
It's a very long shot. But yeah, so Nintendo's been aggressive about this. Seems like some people are they're not kicked off entirely. They're getting scared here, and it's like happening in weird places. Like Alana Pierce was just watching was it Skill One Up's video about Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like his official preview video, and she like got like a flag, and she got banned from Twitch for a bit because of it. So the algorithms are getting out. Skill Up, my bad, I said Skill One Up, and I knew that was wrong. So yeah, it's out of control. Hey, we all know Nintendo is pretty nuts about this stuff. At some point, something seemed to get them even more concerned about people accidentally leaking details. I don't know what could have done it, but they are weird. And then last little thing here, Private Division has announced a new publishing partnership with Game Freak, the Pokemon guys. This is some kind of new action-adventure game from Game Freak, meant to be a new IP for the developer. Like the one like concept art they showed looks real kind of impressive in a way that is almost laughable considering the visual quality of Game Freak's last title. But like this doesn't have to be a Switch game. In fact, I expect it won't be. And it's always this weird thing, like, yeah, Nintendo does not own Game Freak, the company that makes the Pokemon games.
Right, everyone forgets that. Remember
weird.
when Pokemon Go was big and everyone thought they'd buy Nintendo stock and make money, and it was like, no,
Yeah. Well,
that's
even-
not who actually does this.
Well, even then, Game Freak didn't have anything to do with that, really. It's just like Game Freak is just the
Right.
company that makes the mainline Pokemon games for the most part. So, that's weird. I'm interested to see what this is. Now, it's also interesting because, yeah, there's only so many resources, and it does make me wonder, well, maybe we don't get, like, a new Let's Go because Game Freak's doing this instead. Like, that did happen before, where when they did that, like, kind of spurt there on the DS and stuff, when they were making games like Tempo, the Badass Outfit, and some other things, it did mean that we didn't, like, get, like a Pokemon Z in that generation when we got Pokemon X and Y, for example, right? So, there are only so many resources spread out. And it's one thing if you're making, some cute game with horse jockeys and cards. It's another if you're making this seemingly big game for Private Division. Now, maybe this will help them learn a bit more about making HD 3D games.
Get some Unreal Engine development time in. Who knows?
Presumably, the next Pokemon game will be a Switch 2 game. So they'll have some better hardware. And hopefully, I'm sure it's going to play at least pretty similar to Scarlet Violet. I'm sure it's going to be an open world game again. I don't think you're going back from that. So hopefully they can build off of that and do something more impressive visually and maybe even mechanically also. We'll see. And maybe this will be a good exercise for them with that. I hope so. But it's going to be this weird thing. I know that they're desperate to have another hit, and that's why they did that whole thing there where they were making some of these other games. Because they don't want to have to depend solely on Pokemon. They would like to diversify. So, hey, this is their attempt to diversify again. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So there you go. That's it for the news. We got a few super chats here. How about I...
Hit me.
Yeah, I'm going to do just that, AJ. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you real hard if you don't finish Resident Evil 4. Big Jim Orion says, Jeff... this is probably when he thought Jeff would be here. Jeff, we all know what those holes you were digging are really for. They're for the Xbox Series X you bought to try to scalp. Bad choice. You should have scalped PlayStation 5's. Jeff, Then Big Jumbo Rain says, also for the record, friendship with X-Pot Killer is broken. Phil's my homeboy now. Just a little friendly competition is all. Well, it's good to know they're actually friends, AJ.
Right, like that night at the Game Awards. Now listen, I probably
a long time
shouldn't
ago.
do this.
Oh,
I
shit.
shouldn't do this, but I'll tell you all what the holes are for.
He already
now
admitted
you know
it.
how.
Oh, never mind. What
No.
do you think they're for?
That was a
cover?
lie because listen, you know how the moon is made of Swiss cheese, and Jeff loves Swiss cheese, so he's trying to replicate and make the Earth cheese and see what that would taste like, and he got to start somewhere, so he started in his own yard. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. He just really likes Swiss cheese.
Jesus Christ. All right, very nice. Next one here. I'm worried. I wonder if we got one from subscriber, and I don't know if I can see it. I don't know if you can dig up through the chat, AJ, see if there's one of those. But from Thrak, it says, this is just for our boy, AJ.
Oh, thank you.
How about that? Just for you, AJ. Here's another. Darachi also says, shout out to AJ. Happy to see him on the show. Well, AJ, look, there's 2 people who like you. That's
you
shocking.
guys know how to make a girl blush.
All right. And then Green Thumb says, in honor of Zelda Eve, it's like Zelda Eve. Please accept a few milk bones. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Also, it's always nice to have AJ in the doghouse. Woof, woof. Man, look at this. Lots of nice things for AJ. Yeah, it is. I am really excited. I know for a while I was like, oh, I'm not feeling the hype for Tears of the Kingdom, blah, blah, blah.
It hit real hard. It hit real hard.
Feeling that hype pretty strong right now. I can't wait. This is like... those last few trailers have just been so good. They played the one trailer, that short version, before Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when we saw that. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And again, it's just weird. That is, in fact, a game we are just going to play in a couple days here.
This is coming out.
Yeah,
Did you get Uriel Delgado's super chat?
That's the one that's not showing up on my end, I think. Could you read
okay,
that?
then I have it. It says, what game will outshine Horizon 3, hypothetically?
Oh, now when I refresh, it's there. What game will outshine? That's funny. Let's see. It can't be. The Mario game's going to come out too soon. I mean, it could be Elden Ring 2, hilariously enough. Like, it could just straight up be that. But it's got to be something like new and different. So, like, maybe that's when Perfect Dark comes out, and surprise, it's this giant hit, and it turns all of Microsoft's fortunes around. It's this big quadruple A game. So yeah, I'll say Perfect Dark.
A.
Yeah.
There you go.
It'll be Perfect Dark. All right. So that's it for Super Chats for now. Again, if you guys want to send more of those will get read.
You guys want to tell me how much you like me? Go ahead.
Yeah, with money. The best way to tell a person that. We're going to take a short break, though, and then we'll be right back. We got some questions from the community here on our Discord we're going to read through. All right, we're taking a break. This is official break. Got to do a potty or anything? I think I might do a little potty. Might take Penny out.
I'm riding strong. You go ahead. I'll entertain the
you
people.
entertain the people. Be right back.
Hi, people.
Come on, Penny.
All right, Mike's gone. Now we get to talk shit about him, as is tradition.
Yes.
I do have an addendum to the whole emulator thing, just for some clarity.
Okay.
They didn't go after the emulators themselves. That's the mix-up here. They're going after... they're going after the tool that allows you to do the dumping.
That's what I
your
mixed up.
keystream
Okay.
system. Yeah.
Right. And that
So,
scared
and
the
then,
emulators to use the tool. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So Skyline,
Then cops.
devs, they called it.
They're never gonna get us. Never.
AJ started doing the marketing thing for Last Nintendo. They can't afford me.
It's true.
That's very true. Straight bourbon, absolutely. This is just Angel's Envy. I have one of those Death Star ice cube molds, so I use that tonight to kind of keep it cold in my Yeti Rambler, which I believe they discontinued this size of cup, which is a shame because it's a really nice glass. It's dishwasher safe.
It looks nice.
So I like to put my bourbons in there, and I like a little dilution in my bourbon and whiskey, but this keeps it like cold, slightly diluted without getting watered down. Yeah, exactly. So it's good. Then I just got water in the big guy here. But yeah, so I'm very excited. So we redid our basement in our house, and it was a huge project because this kind of became like our dumping ground over the years for like, oh, we don't have room for this, throw it in the basement. So we like totally gutted it, cleaned it out. The kids are all set up in the main room out there. And so behind me now, I've got the bar set up, the bar carts there, just a dry bar. You can see, I don't want to move my camera because I'll screw things up, but I have, my wife got me when we first started dating this really awesome Who Framed Roger Rabbit print from the Alamo Draft House. That's what's over here. And then this 90s Disney it's a hand carved wood placard of the '90s Disney logo that my sister-in-law got me for Christmas one year, and then this thing that you really can't see right here. My family got me that for Christmas, a long time ago. But they got it when we were in Disney. They like tricked me and hid it from me. But it is a lithograph print from the movie Treasure Planet, signed by the directors Ron Clements and John Musker. So those are my current wall hangings. But yes, I am showing off because I'm very excited. It was a long time coming to clean this room. So I have like a proper, every time I did anything on camera in this room, I just turned on the background blur to maximum because there's just all this old toys and all this shit behind me. So now it's nice, and I could I
was gonna say,
actually
it's the
show
only
things.
time I haven't seen you. The only time I've seen you not surrounded by a fog on camera.
Exactly.
Yeah, AJ finally cleaned his
All
room. He's not surrounded by garbage anymore. We're very proud of him.
Yeah, you have to come out. You haven't been over to see it. I might
No,
have
not
to
yet.
come by one night.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I have the questions open.
A second. I grabbed a handful of checks on my way up. No, still kind of floating around there. Okay. And we are back. AJ, would you please read the comments and questions from our lovely Patreons, Twitch followers, Discord community?
All right, you crazy people. What do you got for us? Villain Mac says, considering long development times, chasing trends failures, and the big recent successes of licensed games, is it a good idea for studios to start development on licensed games now, or is this going to be another trend that is out of style 5 to 7 years from now? I mean, it depends. Is it a licensed game that's tying into something, or are you going with known IP? Because, the Suicide Squad is a licensed game that was kind of going to come out with a movie, and that's not going so hot.
I don't think
there's a dangers there. Yeah,
I don't think you can actually tie it into anything anymore. There's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you think your game's coming out, it almost seems like you just add 2 years to that and then still have to delay it anymore. There's just
this funny thing happened. I don't know when it happened, but games take longer to make than movies now. That didn't used to be the case. There were 3 years between Star Warses, and now there's 2.
Yeah. Now, they're doing those faster than ever. In fact, they had to deliberately be like, "We're making too many Star Wars games. We could just churn them out, baby. We gotta slow down intentionally." It's the opposite for video games.
Exactly.
I think it is a problem of licensed games do well, but it's gotta be the giant licenses. So I don't think you're even going to take very many risks with that. Like, you're not going to make a really cool Judge Dredd game in 2024 and actually spend a lot of money on it.
We made a Marvel Avengers game, and it was like meh.
Marvel in general is kind of on a bit of a downturn. I think everything.
But this game was at the height of Endgame. Like, you can't use that excuse for the Avengers game.
What's that? But I guess I was thinking more from Midnight Suns to try to explain that. That had other issues.
Well, sure.
Anything that's not Spider-Man. But I mean, look, it is going to be like part of me almost thinks we're maybe overstating this just because that Harry Potter game had to do really, really well. I don't think it's just because it's a licensed game that those fans were starved for good content there because a lot of Harry Potter stuff has been absolutely terrible.
Right. And it's a good game, and I think at the end of the day, a good game will sell, and that's what it takes. And
sometimes
just make
they
a good game.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes it's Metroid Prime and doesn't sell.
And as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, he's going to bring that up.
I sure am, Edge Guy. I sure am.
I understand.
Yeah. But you definitely have to be careful. You definitely have to think, are we really sure people are going to care about the Suicide Squad 7 years from now when we're starting this game? That's when you got to be pretty careful.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. Wong Jiff says, did you know that the SID chip version of the RoboCop theme that Jeff likes was used in a UK advert for Ariston electronical appliances in the 80s?
Well, I did not know that.
No, we did not. I can assure you. Has any Nintendo music been used in a non-Nintendo thing, or are they too precious with their IP? Is this proof the Commodore is actually better than Nintendo? Last of the Commodogs, when?
No, it's
never.
not.
Don't hold your breath.
And all I can think of is when they played that coin noise at the Guardians games when somebody scores, right? Mario.
Yeah, or like they got away with they got permission to use the fairy fountain theme in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, that's shocking.
Goofy things like that, but no, not too often. Nintendo is very strict with everything they do, so I can't think of any other example beyond that.
there you go.
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, my God, even in Wreck-It Ralph, when he picked up a mushroom in the Lost and Found, it didn't even play the right mushroom sound. But then it played the right Metal Gear Solid exclamation point sound. So
it's shocking. They did get Bowser for that. They weren't allowed to put Mario, but Bowser was there at least. They referenced Mario, which is funny now since Mario is just also an animated movie star.
Yeah, I still didn't think that Bowser is now in both studios' repertoire.
And it's funny because like that Bowser is obviously just like a very on-model Bowser, almost like lifted straight from like Galaxy to or 3D World at the time. But yeah, it exists.
Yep. Velocity Prime 1 says, Happy Zelda Week to the dogs. My question is, once you've finished the tutorial for Tears of the Kingdom, where's the first place on the map that you want to try and get to see what's going on? Also, Hyrule Hustle 3 in the Tears of the Kingdom map, try to get from the lowest elevation to the highest elevation possible.
That might be easy.
I mean, I don't...
Because you have that ability.
Yeah, you just ride a little thing up or whatever.
Well, the one ability literally just shoots you up, right? And it goes, I don't know. But there'll be some kind of a hustle.
They'll come up with something. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, I have no idea. I'll figure out where I want to go. I will probably, Breath of the Wild did kind of steer you in one direction at first. And even from then, it was kind of, there was a certain way it wanted to do those 4 beasts. And I will probably generally follow something like that. It's not so much like where I'm going. I think the game will kind of give me a general direction. It's how I stop along the way and what like weird detours I take.
Right. I'm looking forward to just playing that game at my own pace and just exploring.
Exactly.
That's what I like. It's a cozy game, as Mike says. All right, Tears of the Jayton. Tears of the Jayton says, Hey, Nintendogs. Mike, make sure the guest has seen the Mario movie before reading the rest of the queue. Oh, I've seen the Mario movie 3 times.
Yeah, you took the kids again the other day.
Again, they wanted to go again. I took them. Mario movie's been out for a month as of this episode, so it's safe to talk spoilers, assuming you're normal and don't regularly spoil stuff like Jeff. Who was the one Kong with a bike? Was that supposed to be Funky? If not, come up with a name for them. Oh, you mean the one wearing a sports coat? Yeah, I don't think that was Funky
That's
Kong.
That's an OC. We'll call him Sporty Kong.
Yeah, there you go. Sporty Kong. Or, Dressy Kong.
Dressy Kong. Intimidation
Have
Kong.
I know you have, but everyone listening, if you haven't heard this yet, and I think you guys talked about it, but
I think
when it plays Take On Me, it's supposed to play a song from the soundtrack called Driving Me Bananas, which is this incredible Donkey Kong Country track. And if you go on Reddit, you can find people who've kind of crudely matched it up, and it's amazing. It's so much better.
I got so mad because
I saw that movie Sunday, and I'm like watching that scene. I'm like, ugh, and now I'm angry. I'm just angry watching this scene
because of course there's always the the other people, and this time I was like, actually, I think Take On Me is better than that. And I was like, okay, sure it is. That's fine.
Plebe. Preppy Kong. I like that. He's Preppy Kong.
Is he preppy? I think he's more sporty. He's a little preppy.
Yeah, but sporty has a different implication. You're thinking like a jersey or something at that point.
I guess so. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Next.
Chuck 1991. Why do scrubs complain about weapon degradation in Zelda when the game is designed around it? It's not like the developers made a mistake and the final game is unplayable now. It's like when people complain you can't move and shoot in the original RE4. The game was designed that way. Moving and shooting would break it. What am I missing here?
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Again, it's one of those things that was really different, and people kind of bristled at that because I get it. You find a really good weapon, you're like, okay, sweet. I have this sweet halberd now, and it breaks, and now you don't have it anymore. And yeah, you grab something else and you go on, but there is that attachment to this technique you don't have anymore. So I get it, but I also ultimately think it is the right call.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to I don't want to come at the same way. It's like, well, these people just aren't like they're not as brain malleable as me is their problem. But I do think they are just. I do think they're getting in their heads a little bit. Like, well, this isn't how it is. It's like because if you say it on a paper, like oh yeah, that sounds terrible. All your weapons break. But you play the game, it's just so obvious. Well, yeah, but there's a million weapons everywhere, and that's clearly the whole point. So it's always surprised me that there were so many people who had an issue with that. When again, that's just how that game works, right? It's like complaining that you can't jump in Ocarina of Time. It's like maybe it's like you can't jump in a 3D game. Yeah, but he's not designed around that, so it's fine. It completely works. There's something else I heard recently too. People complain about something. It's like, well, I heard the shooting is slow. Like, what does that mean? I mean, is the game designed around slow shooting? Then it's fine. Like, it doesn't have to. Everything has to play like Doom Eternal. So
right, exactly.
Next.
All right, Jump Matt says Nintendo has been clear they're not interested in acquisitions, but what studio should they acquire?
Maybe
Probably
Game
Game
Freak.
Freaks.
Maybe Game Freak. You call them Game Freaks? Do you think they're called Game
Yeah,
Freaks?
I did.
Yeah.
They got more than one person working over there, right?
You're right. Yeah, they probably should get them, or like what, Intelligent Designs or Intelligent Systems. They don't actually own them.
Like
either,
all these studios who seem to make a lot of their games.
Right. There's a lot of those. Like somebody maybe that we don't necessarily associate with Nintendo games. Like if they could buy Yacht Club or something and just say, yeah,
Yacht Club would make sense because then like you could have them make
a Nintendo
like
character now, sure.
But even like a company like Yacht Club could make like sequels to NES games.
Oh yeah,
kind of like a Mega Man 9 situation. Like make a new Metroid that plays like a Nintendo game, but not.
Gregory says Platinum. That's interesting. They certainly make a lot of games for them, but Platinum still feels
that's true these days. Yeah.
They still feel like a bit of a downswing. Bandai Namco is certainly the biggest one that kind of makes sense for them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really see them you can't really see them buying a Sega. Can't really see them buying a Square Enix or something like that. But a Bandai Namco, I could see.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Treasure is around on a Kaze, unfortunately. Koei Tecmo, maybe. Yeah, Bandai Namco, it's huge, sure, Sean. I mean, it's not like, hey, it's not Activision Blizzard huge. But Bandai Namco, I think, they have a lot of extra things aside from video games that I don't really think Nintendo would be interested in. So they just won't do it. They'll just work with them whenever they want to. All right, next.
Dr. Suss says hardware sales for Nintendo are decelerating faster than Nintendo expected despite dropping massively successful games such as Splatoon 3 and Pokemon Buggy/Laggy in 2022.
Well,
President Furukawa said the next platform is not yet ready for launch in the next fiscal year. Is there anything that would make Nintendo review that timeline? I don't think so. Nintendo does what Nintendo wants.
I mean, I don't think you can push it up. There's a lot to go into there. Design-wise, marketing-wise, and production-wise, right? You got to actually make these things. You got to get the chips
especially
and everything else.
If the rumor is true that they were ready to launch an actual Switch Pro and that kind of turned into the OLED, I mean, the time spent on that was time not spent on Switch 2, so you could kind of understand, why they need the time that they're taking now.
I know he did. It's a little pet peeve of mine when people still use the phrasing Switch Pro when they're talking about this next thing. Like, no, we are so far beyond that, everybody.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with that.
I'm most surprised that that seems to be the standard though when people talk about what's next online. Like, when's a Switch Pro? I'm like, no, when's a Switch 2? That's the expectation now.
We've moved on.
What is you talking about? All right, next.
Jamie H1224 says, as of the latest financials, Breath of the Wild is at 29.81 million sold. Do we think that Tears of the Kingdom outsells it? Also, do you see Nintendo offering the eventual DLC to NSO expansion members on day one? If you're lucky, they'll give you the DLC to Breath of the Wild on NSO.
They haven't done that.
But I doubt it. They want to sell that.
Yeah, you're might be right.
As far as the sales of Tears, it's hard to say because will it benefit from such a huge installed base, or will it get hurt from being a late game in the life cycle? I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
It's hard to say because it is so late. Like Breath of the Wild definitely benefited from coming right in the beginning of this incredibly popular console and just kind of sold forever. But again, if there's that continuity, then this game could just keep selling even as the Switch 2 is out and people are picking it up and playing it on there. Especially if there is some kind of plays even better on Switch 2 with, better frame rate, better resolution, and all this stuff. It's hard to say. I mean, Breath of the Wild was such a thing, and there might be a bit of, this is pretty similar, right? And I know it's going to be a better comparison than Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time, but I'm sure Majora's Mask sold a good amount less than Ocarina of Time. And I don't think it's going to be like that. I guess I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if this sold better than Breath of the Wild. The timing's just not as good. But at the same time, you have all these people who really liked Breath of the Wild. Zelda is at a high point right now, and there's a lot of Switches out there. I think its launch will be better because of that. I don't know if the tail will be, or the legs will be quite as strong. But, it's still going to sell over 20 million, over 30 million, what have you. It'll be a big hit.
I mean, if Pokemon in its state can sell 22.1 million Pokemon in less than a year, I think this will do very well.
It'll do very well.
Yeah. Tears of the Jedi says, we know audiences are more willing to forgive slower performance on Switch compared to AAA games on other platforms today. Could part of this be that Nintendo just doesn't ever market games in those technical terms? In the 20 plus years of modern consoles, I don't think Nintendo's ever used the words frame rate and resolution in any official marketing for their games. And even when they patch the games, they don't ever use those terms in patch notes. Game is now more stable, for example. Would Nintendo ever use those terms if and when they put out stronger hardware? I mean, they might if it's a 4K system, just talk about how we have 4K. But you're right. I don't think Nintendo just ever uses the word frame rate in anything, and I don't think they're going to.
I mean, for so long now, like they haven't had a system since like almost the GameCube where you can consistently be like, the Wii U may be a bit like, yeah, a lot of the games on this thing run at 60 frames per second. Even then, not really, right? So of course that hasn't really come up, and of course resolution wise, they've been behind for a really long time. But you know, I think that stuff can't come up if it is pertinent to the next system here.
Pentiment.
If they, you know, if for example they say, hey, look, Tears of the Kingdom runs at 60 frames per second on this, I think they might actually spell that out instead of just saying, look, it runs smoother. And again with 4K, although that's such a weird thing. Is the next Switch going to really play 4K games docked? Maybe. But if it does,
I think it has to. I think it has to.
They will say that if that's true. And I think they'll say it in marketing materials and not just to like nosy journalists like me who ask them about it.
Mm-hmm. They have to. I mean, I bought a low end TV for my kids for $200, and it's 4K. Like they have to have 4K.
Yeah, at this point, there's got to be some support for that, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Beefs of the Kingdom says, "Evening, Mike. 5'6", out of shape, balding, and in Nintendo Joe Minotti, and AJ 6'3", body of an Olympic athlete."
Who is this?
Beefs of the Kingdom.
Yeah, all right, Beef.
Hang on, I'm not done yet. AJ 6'3", body of an Olympic athlete, full head of hair, and not Nintendo Joe Minotti. I mean, if you say so.
Jesus Christ. Where's my band? Where's my timeout button?
There's only an inch or two difference between us, I promise.
Thank you, AJ.
With speculation of new hardware in the next year, should Nintendo do what Seg can't? Shut up, I tried. Nintendo loves to try things that previously didn't work, so I propose an add-on, the Nintendo Switch DD. Should this be Nintendo's solution to extend the Switch's life?
No, when you have a tiny dick.
No.
So there, huh? How about that? You had a stupid suggestion. You piece of shit. Next question.
They already tried that. It was Labo.
I got jokes. Next.
Tears of the Bopdom says, "Woof woof to my dogs."
Woof,
Do you
woof.
think it's possible Tears of the Kingdom can score a 97 or higher, or was Breath of the Wild an anomaly in the current review climate? No, I think it's entirely possible.
No, there's been a lot. There's been a few Zelda games that have actually gone that high. It's not all the time. Ocarina of Time was obviously a big one. And I don't think like any of them after that did. What was Link Between Worlds Metacritic? I wonder if that got any kind of like a weird portable like bump down. But you'd think that would be a game that should almost be at the very high end. A Link Between 91.
A 91.
So it's very good, but it's not like that insane upper 90s. This absolutely can, I think. Plus, who's going to review this game? It's going to be a lot of the people who really like Breath of the Wild. So,
yep.
Even Wind Waker also does have like a really high Metacritic score. Actually, that's right, Bucket. I think it is like a 96. So, yeah, it's happened before. Zelda games.
I think it's possible.
I think it's possible.
Mr. Bowler says, "Hey, Mike, clearly just a clone of AJ Minotti, and AJ, the Jeff Grubb of the Minotti's Minotti." I don't know if I'm insulted or not.
Congratulations to that, yeah.
Oh, no. Since we're just a handful of days away from release, now's your chance to get out the last of your Tears of the Kingdom FUD, so have at it.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
I don't know.
What's FUD mean?
That means FUD, it means, well, it's not fear of missing out. That's FOMO. What is FUD?
Yeah, I know that one.
What? Yeah, chat. I was about to make fun of you, then I was like, wait, I don't know. Actually, it's
fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Thank you. There we go. There you go.
I mean, I guess my biggest FUD about it is just that it's gonna feel too familiar, and that might turn me off. Like it would be the reason why I didn't play much of New Vegas, even though I loved Fallout 3.
You should play New Vegas
because I played so much. And I've started it 4 times, and it's good, but it's just like I played so much Fallout 3. that it just feels like I'm treading on unfamiliar ground, and I did this already. So I guess that's my biggest fear, is that I New Vegas it, but I don't think I will.
Ooh, Jeff's not here. I can call him out for being like Jeff's so hard on so many AAA games, but a big Fallout 4 fan, Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb can't stop talking shit about Horizon Forbidden West and Red Dead Redemption 2. Calls Red Dead Redemption 2 like almost an unplayable game. Loves Fallout 4. Can't get enough of that slop. I'm just calling him out since he's not here. All right. Yeah, I there's a little bit of that. I feel pretty safe that that's not going to bother me too much. It hopes that I didn't, like, I love Breath of the Wild, but I did basically play it when it came out 7 years ago or whatever, and then, didn't play it again. Like, I played it again for Hyrule Hustle, but that was this whole different thing, so that was, just kind of fun and breezy and this wacky thing, and it kind of whet my appetite, like, I am ready to go. But I think, like, so much of Breath of the Wild was those powers you have, and the fact that you have these different powers this time, that will be enough, and you have all this different architecture. I know I talked about before about how I want there to be dungeons. I still think it would be cool. It would be neat. I don't know if there's going to what that scale would be. It's not a deal breaker. I hope we have something that's like, at the very least, that's like the Divine Beast, but a bit bigger and a bit more individualized than that. Like, all four of those things basically looked the same. So I'm hoping for that, and that's one thing we really still don't know very much about, how that's going to work out. And I'm glad there are still all these. Yeah, there's all these question marks still, and I think that's a lot of fun. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So I think I have much more excitement and intrigue than I have fun. I have very little fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. Casual says, "Dear Mike, Planet Coaster stream when, Minotti?" Yeah, when?
We'll get to that.
And AJ, everyone keeps saying gabagool, but no one actually knows what it is. Minotti, look, if you have to ask what gabagool is, you'll never know.
It's a kind of deli meat, right?
It's capicola.
Yeah, we never
capicola. Gabago. That's all this. Post Pikmin 4. What might the output for the rest of Nintendo's 2023 look like? Love you and all that you do.
Yeah, don't know. It's hard. It's like,
no, I'd love it to be Donkey Kong. Save Mario for Switch 2 and give me a really good Donkey Kong game this fall. That'd be great.
Well, but it's almost like all these rumors can't be true. It's like the one rumor is that it is the Mario team making that Donkey Kong game. It's like, okay, then where's the Mario game going to be? So
right. Fair.
And maybe they can split that off. Like maybe somehow like that smaller team that made Bowser's Fury did that, but I don't think it's a smaller team. I think it's just one team that did these things. I don't know if you can really split that off into two projects. I wonder if it could be like, so at the end of the Wii U, we had Star Fox Zero, and they almost felt like they kind of had to promote that game like it was a bigger deal than it was. And I like that game. I think it suffered a lot from being Nintendo's big game that year, because we don't have a Zelda or a Mario or Mario Kart or a Smash Brothers. Here's Star Fox Zero, and I think it kind of suffered from that. But maybe it is something like that. Maybe it's like, okay, here is actually a new F-Zero, and we kind of have to, we know this is probably more like a 3 to 5 million seller, but this is our big holiday game, and I'll be okay with that.
Fine by me.
But that game will probably get a bit of a beating, sort of like Star Fox Zero did, if that happens.
We'll see. Tears of the McBasketball. Why are you all crying? Just a simple.
I got the answer for you. Well, you see, AJ, it's a play on words because of the new Zelda game. And I was like, oh, he knows.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Just a simple question. What special arrow are you planning on using first in Tears of the Kingdom? I need to know what a meat arrow does. I'm gonna make an arrow.
Can you do that?
Oh, Michael.
Well, yes, okay, bad joke for me. But wait, no, you've got something there. Why don't you let him cook? What's this about an arrow? Please go on.
I'm going to make an arrow. I'm going to put an arrow on an arrow. I'm going to shoot an arrow.
Oh, that's kind of brilliant. You think that'll work?
I don't see why it better. If I can attach anything to this arrow, why can't I attach another arrow?
You think it'll be twice as strong? Or you think it's not?
I hope.
You think it's exponential? You think it's like a factor? It's not just like twice as strong?
Either twice as strong or it goes twice as far.
Do we know it's just a matter of it's you can do 1 + 1 to make a 2. You can't do a 2 + 1. You can't combine 3 things, right? It's all 1 to 1.
Yeah, it's all 1 to 1 for items.
You can't combine 3 arrows. That would be crazy.
No, that would crash the Switch.
That'd be stupid. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
That's a dumb idea.
Well, AJ's right then. I guess I would have put an arrow on the arrow.
Yeah, we're gonna make an arrow. It's gonna be great. All right, Super Harmon says during the May 4th sales, I got KOTOR 2 on Switch, and before starting a new game, remember there's supposed to be an extra content patch. I did a little digging to find nothing new on this other than people suggesting it wasn't coming due to Spire, however they say it, being removed from the KOTOR remake and the related drama there. Should I give up on this patch officially coming out? Funny you mention this, because we actually talked about this on Star Wars Day, because I had the same thought. I was like, I have this on my Steam Deck, but maybe it's nice just to have it on Switch, but oh yeah, did that DLC come out? And their FAQ page on their site still says it's coming in the second half of 2022. They still tweet stuff on their Twitter page about their games and their sales, and every tweet, the replies are, KOTOR 2 DLC when, and they just don't acknowledge it. So I don't know what's going on.
Right, it is weird. They haven't flat out said it's not happening. It is strange. But I mean, I think it was always strange because it was like a restored content patch made by fans. So
but they advertise it from the announcement of the game.
It better be
and
there.
The problem is that they've already said your save file won't be compatible when the DLC comes out. So it's you start the game and because you'd have to start over once it came out. So that honestly made me not buy it. So I don't know. I
almost wish they just didn't release it until they actually were ready for this. Then maybe it doesn't happen. But I mean, I'm not playing this until that comes out. That's. I mean, gosh, that's one of the reasons why I did fall off Forbidden West is because I was playing it and it was okay, and then people were like, the ending sucks. I was like, well, then who cares? This game is so story heavy. But right. I'm not gonna play KOTOR 2 and then have this really deflating non-ending experience. I'm gonna
and then play it again to get the actual ending.
No, exactly. So yeah, well, I hope I can have a chance to bug them about it because I would like to hear. It is weird that. So, on one hand, it's like, oh, at least they haven't said it's not happening. But it's also weird that they don't even reassure people it is going to happen anymore.
Right, they've said nothing for months.
I don't know. It's upsetting. Next.
Alas. Hosp says, hey, dogs. Following a particularly good game, I often get paralyzed with what to play next. So hard for anything to be as good. With Tears of the Kingdom almost upon us, any plans for the first game right after? Diablo 4. That's an easy answer.
I mean, there's just so many June games I'm looking forward to. I'm going to play Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, and Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, yep. So I'll now on Switch, I'll probably do my next Final Fantasy Pixel remaster. I beat 1 and 2, so and I'm kind of didn't jump to 3 right away because I know Zelda's coming out. So after that, maybe I'll do that. Although I'm also, and I'll talk about this, I'm on a bit of a shmup kick right now.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, so maybe I'll find a couple other shmups to play through and learn stuff like that. Be fun.
What was that Saturn one? Was it Radiant Silver Gun that came out and got pulled? It came back out again, right?
Yeah, that's on Switch. I think it's supposed to be good on there.
Okay.
So Ikaruga has been on Switch for a while. I have a flip grip, so I could do Tate mode if I want to or whatever.
The flip grip doesn't work with the OLED, though.
Oh, well then fuck me. Never mind.
Yeah. Zylax002 says, hey, Mike, and I'll say AJ, even though you wrote guess. I'll fill it in for you.
Yeah.
Excluding console launches, is this the biggest week ever for the launch of a Nintendo game? What other game launches would be in contention? I mean, for Nintendo, this feels pretty big. The only thing, maybe bigger that I can honestly think of, would you have to go back to Mario 3.
That was a pretty big deal. Yeah, man, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. I remember Smash Brothers Brawl feeling especially to me, that felt like a very big deal.
Right, but was it because you were such a Smash fan and Mega Man was going to be in it?
He wasn't in Brawl, so there, he was in 4.
No, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, you idiot. No, Smash was the best-selling game on the GameCube, and there was a lot of people excited for that Wii game. And the Wii was a big hit also. And all the other Smash games have also been very big deals. The Wii U one, less so because it was on the Wii U. Smash Ultimate was a pretty big deal when that finally came out on Switch. What's the previous other big Switch one? Because we didn't really know with Animal Crossing that became this big thing, but it's not like we all felt.
Yeah, it did have a zeitgeist. Yeah,
yeah. I think Smash probably for me was probably the most anticipated Switch launch before this one, I would say.
Yeah, I just because it had such that hype trailer, and I'll never forget that moment sitting in a McDonald's parking lot watching the direct stream on my phone, and when Snake popped out of the box, I was like, "Snake's back!" And then that's when it came up. Everyone's here, and I was just in my car.
AJ, you're screaming too much. The mic didn't like it.
Oh, I thought if I backed up, it would be good.
No. I mean, like, it didn't pick it up even.
Oh, I was screaming joy.
Your
everybody. You
RTX.
can
See,
probably
that's
figure
why
it out.
I haven't used RTX. RTX is for cowards and losers.
Yeah, but then you
said-
hear my air conditioning running really loud the
Oh,
entire
well, that's
time.
actually,
So
never mind. Keep it on. Next.
yeah. All right. Tink says, "Oh, Tink. By the way, your avatar is brilliant. Do you see this?
What
Mike?
is it? I can't.
It's the GIF of Mr. Dink right after Doug tells him he broke his grill.
Mr. Dink, I broke your grill. I'm sorry. Douglas.
Yeah. All right. He says, "Hey, Mike, Jeff, do something." Minotti and his amazing friends. Who is the best Mega Man boss and why? I'm partial to
Snake
Top
Man.
Man because for some reason I have an affinity for dumb, useless villains. Yeah, it's Snake Man, right?
I'm
Mike?
more of
That's
a
your
bottom
answer.
man myself. Hey.
I didn't need to know that.
It's a Mega Man joke. Yes. Well, you also said a Mega Man 3 boss, so that's good and important. Also, AJ's favorite, if I'm not mistaken. Don't you like Top Man too?
I like his song fucking rules.
Well,
Yeah,
sure.
so I like Top Man a lot.
Yeah.
But is he my favorite? Seriously, are we talking just Mega Man, or am I allowed to dip in like Mega
Why?
Man?
You want to say
X?
Boomer Kawanger?
No, I don't even know.
Overdrive
Storm Eagle's
Ostrich?
pretty good.
Storm Eagle's great.
Pretty good.
I like Chill Penguin. I like Overdrive Ostrich. No, I like Snake Man from Mega Man 3. Even as a kid.
Snake Man's here. I mean, honestly, for me, if I really had to go with my nostalgic favorite, it's probably just Metal Man. Like, I just like
Metal Man's great, and his song is fantastic too. Like Bubble Man's song is good. He kind of is an ugly motherfucker, Bubble Man. He looks kind of stupid. Metal Man looks cool. Cut Man from Mega Man 1 actually is really good still. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I actually like Brick Man a lot from Mega Man 11. I thought he looked pretty dope. Galaxy Man from Mega Man 8. Galaxy Man is from 9. There's like another UFO one. They're very similar, and I can't remember which one's which.
Galaxy Man.
Yeah, there's that whole thing.
Damn it, Jeff, go away.
God damn it, Jeff.
Someone ban him.
God. You first beef and now you're getting on my weird side. But yeah, Snake Man's the best. Incredible song, incredible design. Even as like a kid, when I was like 3 or 4, you would like, I don't know why, I would like tell our grandma, Snake Man's my favorite Mega Man. She'd be like, that's nice. Like, I would tell people about Snake Man.
Father of a 4-year-old boy, I can understand why you would do that, because I hear the most inane prattle from him. So
No, exactly.
that makes total sense.
Next.
All right. Clink says, "Hello, Mike. Finally got rid of Jeff Minotti." So he shows up in chat. And guest, I'm not paid enough for this host. That's true. What's your favorite food in a video game?
I like the wall meat. That's a classic, but the wall meat in Castlevania.
But which one would you like actually eat?
Oh, the wall meat.
Really?
No. No, I
mean,
wouldn't.
you are a disgusting human.
I am
so-
a disgusting, gross. I mean, everything in Monster Hunter World looks super good.
Yeah,
Just in
that's true.
general.
I want the dongo.
The dong, yeah. No, wait, what's the? I'm not as into whatever that weird pastry stuff is they're making in.
Yeah, and Rise. Yeah, I
Rise.
am.
No,
I want
that I'm not
stuff.
into. Not at all. But
God, like all the food in Final Fantasy 15 always looked really good.
yeah, there's even just like the cup of noodles that they would make from like
Right.
advertising. I was like, yeah, cup of noodles. Let's go. Okay, not bad. Next.
Okay. Ed says, "Hey, Mike," and question mark. After being lukewarm on the Tears of the Kingdom presentation, I'm now super excited following the latest trailer. What a difference a trailer can make. I finally went back to Breath of the Wild, defeated Calamity Ganon, and I'm now ready for Friday. My question is this. What is your favorite and least favorite shrine from Breath of the Wild? It can't just be a type of shrine if you can remember a specific one. I think my favorite one was the one where you had to use like the gyro to like guide a marble through a maze, and then you realized you could just flip the maze on its back and bypass it entirely. I like clever shit like that.
I know. I think a lot of people didn't like those. I actually liked all of those gyro shrines. I thought they were really cool. Like the ones that like replicate those like ball maze things or like pinball.
Right.
Like I thought actually all of those were really fun. Again, it's been so long since I actually played Breath of the Wild. I don't know if I can really.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. I don't remember like hating one really hard or anything like that. Like sometimes when it was like the combat arena ones, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to get sweaty for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. But no, even those I liked because the combat of that game actually felt really good. So yeah,
Right.
I can't remember specifically. I don't remember disliking any shrines though. I can say that.
No, I never had a problem. Again, I like Breath of the Wild is my number 2 game of all time. So yeah, I'm pretty good with it. Screaming Madden says, "Hey Mike, episode 1 racer homie Minotti and
That's
AJ,
right.
who's in place of Jeff, Darth Vader, Dance Man Baby, Grubb. I know Tears of the Kingdom is going to dominate the Switch this spring, and then Pikmin 4 will dominate this summer. However, do you think Nintendo will announce any other games for summer or fall before or around the Nintendo Live 2023 event? Perhaps a random announcement a la the Paper Mario, the Origami King Twitter announcement in 2020. Like you said, they got to announce something because you can't go to this event and be playing games that are already out.
Right.
So there'll be something.
There's got to be something for the holiday besides just DLC. Yeah, there's got to absolutely be something. And again, I don't think I think it's got to be something bigger than here's a tweet. Now the problem is if you do a direct, there are going to be a lot of people saying, "Hey, is this where we're going to have hardware?" So, but they've done this before. They can just straight up say in the tweet announcement for the direct, "We will not be announcing new hardware."
Yeah, they have no problem with that.
Absolutely not. Next.
Chaos Buckaroo says, "Howdy, Mike. Gaslighting himself and others into thinking Battlefront 2 wasn't popular or good, Minotti and me."
All right, wait a second, AJ.
Let's rewind, everybody.
Okay,
let's take it back.
Now, look, you were there also. You remember Battlefront, the original Battlefront 2, everybody. If you haven't listened to the last Game is the Size, we figured out the Mount Rushmore Star Wars games, and people were screaming for the original Battlefront 2, and Jeff and I were just like, look at, no, we don't think so. And I am shocked, AJ, how many people hold this game in this, it was a good game. People hold this game in this fantastically high regard, acting like it was like one of the game of the years for 2005 or whatever it came out, and all this other stuff. You were there.
Listen,
that game was not that big a deal. Jeff, why is
like
Jeff fighting? Oh, this is Sean saying it now, and Jeff saying we're all tweeting on Jeff's account because we know we have that power. That's what that is. That's not Jeff, everybody.
Listen. This is like you all coming up to me and say, "You fought in the Clone Wars?" Look, I was once a Jedi Knight like your other podcast host. It was fine. It was cool. It was novel. It was like, oh, they ripped off Battlefield and made it Star Wars. That's what it was, everybody. Let's call a spade a spade. And look, it was like, oh, but you could be like Obi-Wan Kenobi. It played like garbage when you were the heroes. It was floaty.
See,
it was
Angus even coming at it harder than I did.
It was fun. It was very fun. But like the arenas were too small for the vehicles to work very well. Again, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just not saying like, what are you all? I'm just. Ugh.
Again,
it wasn't like this revelationary, like, oh my god, put this on a pedestal. It'll never get better than this.
Right, it was a game that like came out and got an 83 on Metacritic, and we all thought that's about right. And then I didn't think
it's fun.
Then all this, I remember like it started as soon as the new ones came out. Everyone's like, "Oh, the old ones were so good." I was like, "What? Yeah, they were good. Yeah, for sure." They're like, "Yeah, they're like better not ruin my childhood." I was like, "But that was your childhood? Oh, okay. It's fine. I like those. I like those games.
Fuck yourself, old man. Get the hell out of here.
All right.
I mute
I was
you.
trying so hard to hold him, but not fuck you.
So it's like, look, I was there. That game just wasn't that big a deal. It just wasn't. It was good. We liked it fine.
AJ, what's the next question?
Yeah, what's next?
I didn't even get to the question yet.
Oh, that's right. Excuse me.
Oh, funny. No question this week.
Oh.
Just a comment that the most interesting thing from Nintendo's financial report to me was that Splatoon 3 only sold about 500,000 in the last quarter, currently at 10.67 million units sold. Very sharp and sudden fall off. I think that's the kind of game that you're going to get your audience when you get them, and you'll trickle in some sales, but that's about it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize
Christ.
that. Yeah, I guess that maybe makes sense. That's a bit more front heavy, especially since it's an online game. After a while with those, it's kind of like, well, can I really get in on this like a year after it comes out and be behind everybody? Street Fighter 6 might have a similar problem. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, Darth Maul has joined the chat after that Battlefield 2 conversation.
Oh, good.
It's Wolfpack Sting, all right? I'm going to Jim real quick.
Oh.
I'm just going to sit. Yeah, Battlefront 2 it's cheap looking. It looks bad. I never liked the way it looked.
It's
You guys need to get over
2005, dude. What do you want?
Get over it. It looked
That's right.
bad in 2005. All right,
Yes!
I'm gonna go back.
Love you, Jeff.
Bye,
Get the fuck out of here,
Darth.
Darth Maul.
look, we'll just keep getting meaner and meaner. You guys keep prodding us. I was trying to be diplomatic about it before. Again, we were there. I was there, Gandalf.
I was 21 years old. I remember it very clearly. Okay?
Yeah, you old fart. I was 10 and it was amazing.
I will say the person I knew who loved it the most was absolutely like my 12-year-old cousin. He also thought it was the best thing in the world. I was
you
mature.
boomer. Literally our childhoods.
I was playing World
that game
of
was rated
Warcraft.
teen for teen. You weren't allowed to play it.
Yeah.
Bad
Listen,
parenting.
You don't want to know why I first played Call of Duty, all right?
Laser Wolf says hello. Laser Wolf says hello. Wrestling nickname guest and Mike the Man Minotti.
Did I not?
What's
I
Nintendo?
guess I didn't tell them it was you for a while. I thought I told everybody.
It says at the top there. They might have missed it in the note.
I think
that
Sean probably
says
added that later.
to
Don't
read
worry.
it. Yeah.
What's the question?
What's a Nintendo game that has a deep world you can just get lost in, Alice, Skyrim, or Fallout? Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I remember who else.
Beyond
obvious.
that.
Yeah.
Wind
Waker is actually maybe my even more so than Breath of the Wild is a better open world game, but there is something about the like. Some people are like, oh, I don't like the sailing in Wind Waker. It's empty. I don't think it's empty, and I think it's actually awesome just being on that open sea, going from island to island. But even Metroid Prime, pretty similar. I really love being lost in that area. That whole that whole
Quest 64.
Quest 64. Jesus Christ. That'd be a funny one to make Jeff play, huh?
Yeah, it would be funny.
Jeff Quest 64, huh? Rolls
Jeff
off
Quest.
the tongue. Good times.
Right there.
Does anything else that you would think of for that world you get lost
those
in?
are good answers.
Kind of a weird one. The Star Tropics. Very tropical island vibes. Let's go. I like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Big Tony says, my dogs.
Yo.
Mike, I'm going to be real with you. I
shit.
have voted for your consoles every draft, every time.
Who is this
But
again?
after watching you lose, Big Tony.
Big Tony, you're a
Write
good
him
guy.
down.
Big Tony, way up here. Beef Hammer, you go to hell.
But
Oh, shit.
after watching you lose time and time again, I have to ask, do we have bad taste in games?
No!
Or is it the children who are wrong?
No, have you heard what the children are saying about Battlefront 2? It's absolutely them who are wrong. It's their fault. Absolutely. Oh, Beef Hammer said that I was short and fat, Jeff. I think, actually, if I got that right, I think that's what he said. And bald, which, okay, that's not disputable.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. No, their children are wrong.
If I could give my critique of your drafts, Mike,
Oh,
to
God.
help you out.
I didn't
This is just some constructive criticism. You managed to get like 2 or 3 heavy hitters, but then you fall off in consistency too quickly.
I have maybe, but see, I have a couple misses, and then Jeff gets misses like Batman Arkham Knight, and it costs him nothing somehow. Like I never have a miss that big. I never had a miss that big.
It's not like Mario Maker 2 is the number 2 pick.
Mario Maker 1, first off, it maybe was too
Mario 1,
high.
excuse me.
No, everyone loves Mario Maker until suddenly I pick it, then all of a sudden people actually don't like that game that much, it turns out. That's what it is. Whatever, I'll get them. We got at least one more console generation. Do we? Wait, I guess we could do.
Yeah, you got the current gen, and I told you I want to do an
gen.
arcade draft.
Arcade draft could be fun. Oh God, arcade's so hard because all of those are boomer games. How can you? Oh my God.
I have an idea.
Jeff
I think
has
I
other
told you
ideas,
some
he
of it,
says.
but I'll
Don't worry.
flush it out.
We'll have fun. Yeah,
Okay.
Mario Maker 1 was Giant Bomb's Game of the Year in 2015. Granted, so is Chicory that one year, which what the hell happened there? And I know what happened. It was like some kind of weird like diplomacy pick because they're cowards. That was the year Metroid Dread came out. Me, Jeff, and Dan wouldn't have let that happen if we were there. I'll tell you that. It was also GameSpeak Game of the Year. That's right. No, but all of a sudden no one cares anymore. All right, next. Oh, God, did I lose him? Great, I lost him. I got to vamp until he comes back. Is everyone else still here?
I'm here, Mike.
Oh,
and that's
great.
what
So it's not
matters.
on my end, at least. That's fantastic. I was like,
Don't
all right.
worry.
I was like, all
He's
right.
frozen on the stream too, yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect freeze. I'll just freeze too, right next to him. This is great for the audio listeners.
It's like there's a mirror between you. It's incredible.
But I'm real. I'm not actually frozen. Take that. Sean, I can't get into Discord. I don't suppose you can get in there and read some questions maybe while I wait for him.
Sure. Where do we leave off?
He said, yeah, what was I yelling at him about? Oh, it was, there's the guy talking to me about my draft picks. The guy who says he always voted for me. He even told me his name. Big Tony. That's right. It was Big Tony.
Big Tony. Okay. So next up is Grubb. Nintendo have greenlit an F-Zero TV show inspired by Adam West Batman and Speed Racer. In the spirit of doing things as cheaply as possible, you have been tasked with casting Game Club contributors in the following roles. Zoda.
Man, who's Zoda?
Who the hell is Zoda? I have no idea.
Who's Zoda? Look, I watched Speed Racer as like a kid once. I know Speed Racer. I know Racer X, and there was a monkey.
These are F-Zero characters. These are
F-Zero
characters.
Why did I hear Speed Racer?
Well, I don't know. Okay, listen to it again.
Because I'm
you
also
old
trying
man.
I also got a message from AJ saying his internet was down, so he's restarting his router. Say that again for me, please.
Okay. You have an F-Zero TV show inspired by Adam West Batman Speed Racer. So we're doing like a sort of like goofy over the top.
Okay, I get it
show.
now. I get it now.
Okay. We're casting people around here.
All right. I'm gonna Google
roles.
these people. Okay, who's the first one?
Who the hell is Zoda?
Zoda. Isn't Zoda the bad guy from Star Tropics?
I thought Zoda was the princess. Is it the green guy you play as?
No, Zoda, he looks like Skeletor if his head was a bomb. Zoda, nice. So that could be Beefhammer. There you go.
That checks
Piece
out.
of shit.
Super Arrow.
Yeah, Super Arrow. Okay, F-Zero Super. This guy really overestimated our deep knowledge of F-Zero characters.
We like F-Zero. We don't like it this much.
F-Zero looks like Harvey Birdman, but when he's a superhero and not a lawyer. So that could be that could be TR Bucket. How about that?
Okay.
And now I'm gonna leave somebody off. Now they're gonna feel like, oh, I get to be a superhero. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm doing my best.
Samurai Goro. Who's our Samurai Goro?
Oh, Samurai. I mean, am I the Samurai?
I feel like I was gonna say that's like Jeff when he shows up. He sort of just stumbles in.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Jeff does have
out.
Samurai Goro energy. I like that. Okay, Jeff can be Samurai Goro.
Gomar and Shio.
Okay, yeah, I'm coming back.
Yeah, turn your camera. Gomar and Zero? Shio.
Shioh.
Okay, these look like mechanical people, or something. Ooh, here, Sean, this could be me and you. How about that? I'll be the little one since everyone thinks I'm short.
Checks out. Jodie Summer.
Jodie Summer. I bet she's the hot one.
Oh, that's Randy, obviously.
Jodie Summer. Well, I think Leia is the only girl who has been on Mars so far. So, I hate to do this to her, but yeah.
Congrats, Leia. You get that.
Yeah,
you get it by default.
There you go.
And then James McCloud.
James McCloud. James McCloud. Everybody wants to be James McCloud, but who actually is James McCloud, right?
Well, Beefhammer's already taken, so...
Yeah, no, definitely not Beefhammer. No way Beefhammer gets to be cool on my watch anymore or ever again. I don't know, Sean, you have to help me out here.
Yeah, Randy's always there.
Yeah, Randy can be that.
By default.
All right, that's enough. Good, thank you, though. That was fun. AJ's back. Next question, AJ.
Okay. I fought off the ninjas who came from me.
There you go. Good job.
All right.
Poor Beef. Poor Beef. Did you hear what Beef said about me? Chat, poor Beef. Mike's so mean to Beefhammer.
We're up to Jeremy Biff's question in there, AJ.
Oh, are you sure? Well, no, we didn't do Grubb Bears.
That's what we just did.
We went on without you.
We didn't.
What,
well, I didn't know that.
Well, what do you think we were just talking about F-Zero characters for? Oh, did he just leave it? Did his internet go down again? He just froze.
Did we lose AJ again? Oh my god.
Fucking kidding me.
Oh, I hear you.
Oh.
No, I'm back.
Oh, okay, there you go. You're back.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Go, quick, read it.
All right. Quick. Jeremy Biff says, hello, Mike, the Blue Beetle, to Jeff Booster Gold Minotti, and better Jeff. Thank you. What's your dream Zelda movie? I want an animated movie made that's mostly 2D with Zelda Williams having multiple roles. I personally like live action fantasy, and also Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies are bad. Well, hang on.
Wow.
I would rather watch a jokey Zelda movie by Illumination. Hang on.
Well,
than a live action Legend of Zelda. Mitch Tulkoda would make a great jokey Link.
Sure.
I don't think Zelda works as a movie. I think it works better as a series, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because, like, what do you make the Zelda movie? The obvious thing is to adapt Ocarina of Time. How much time do you really need to adapt that story? Probably a good amount. It's going to be really difficult. It's going to be a much harder challenge than adapting Mario. And I have no idea what it looks like. I can't even say.
I mean, they've got to do. It can't be, if it's going to be animated, it's going to be Illumination, which I assume they can't do the Illumination art style that Mario even kind of has going for it. Like when it's in Brooklyn, it needs to be like something that's closer to what Puss in Boots did, or even what the new Disney movie Wish did, where you can be like this kind of CGI/painterly style thing.
And it's weird because
that needs to be the time they do that.
Even like a dream, like obviously like a Disney Studios or like Sony or Pixar, they have like a lot of range with these things. Like these movies can look different, even though maybe they'll have like a style that's prominent. But then things can actually look real unique or what have you. Illumination has mostly been the same style forever, so I hope that they can branch out there. Like, I hear people like, "Oh, wouldn't it be amazing if Leica or Ghibli did it?" And it would be. It is so outside the realm of possibility. I can't even like seriously consider it. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really just have no idea what to even possibly expect because they're not going to make like a Lord of the Rings. That's kind of like what it almost should be. But how do you do that? It's so hard. There's so many weird questions there. I bet Zelda is not like the next one they go to, or even the next one, because that's going to take some time to figure out.
Yeah. All right. Bench JC says, "Hello, Mike and guest. What are your last minute Tears of the Kingdom Metacritic predictions? Do you think you could hit that 97? I think it's going to be a 95.
Yeah, I think I might have said 90 because we did this on our game that we play. And I think I said like 90. I forget what I said.
Sean's saying 93, Mike.
I might have. Yeah, is that what I said? I think that's right because I thought there would be a bit of a sequel like shakiness. Although,
drop off, yeah.
I'm not so sure now. It might be a little bit higher than that. 95 might be right. We'll see.
G-Man Sir says, "Hey AJ, I cope at Disney being beaten by the Mario movie Minotti, and Mike, store brand AJ, Miss Naughty." Oh, that's funny.
What have I done to you guys?
I think you know.
I only said Beef Hammers has small dick, not the rest of them.
Between Kirby and Metroid, Kirby is the bigger franchise. Its remaster sold more than Metroid's. When will 35-plus-year-old American journalists bow down to Kirby?
I didn't even think about it like that. Now I'm not happy.
Yeah, it's true.
And they even sold $60 for the Kirby remaster.
But again, it's the age thing. I mean, I bought my little son Kirby. He's not getting Metroid yet. He's not ready to play that.
I mean, Kirby definitely just has a wider appeal for sure.
Yeah, that's all it is. Soji Koto says, "Hey Mike, is P stored in the balls Minotti and guest? God. Based on what we already may or may not know, what are some improvements and quality of life updates you're looking forward to seeing in Tears of the Kingdom over Breath of the Wild?" I don't know, because like the one negative you've heard from all the previews is that the controls are a little cumbersome, and that was kind of what I was hoping would be streamlined a bit.
Yeah, but when I played Breath of the Wild for the first time in a while, I was surprised that the X button on the top of the diamond was the jump button. I was like, oh, right. You
can switch that, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get used to it. I am glad to see that it looks like you have like a weapon wheel or like a wheel to select your powers now instead of just like having to go.
Yeah, the scrolling thing that'll be better.
That was a little awkward before, so that's kind of one of them. Otherwise, I don't need too much in terms of that stuff.
No, I never had a problem playing. All right, Inufe says, "Sheets or Wawa?" Mike, I've never been to a Wawa.
We do not have Wawa. Wawa.
Yeah, they're not. They don't come this far.
Yeah, I think I noticed them for the first time on our last Florida trip, actually. So all sheets all day. Yeah, I saw some Wawas around when going from the airport, I think, or something like that. Yeah, I saw. You know what? What was because before that, actually, I went to Gainesboro, somewhere else in Florida. I forget what it's called now. I saw Wawas there. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Ms. Fio says, "Howdy, AJ, the original 90s Disney fan, Minotti, and Mike, the anthropomorphic green apple Skittles kicked sand on my face when I was a wee baby of 30, and I must get my Keanu Reeves style revenge, Minotti." That's
Skittles by
far.
far.
How'd you know?
Come on, come on. Now, you like apples, you're disgusting for it, but you do. You can't possibly think that green Skittles flavor is better than mine.
I don't like artificial green apple flavored anything. Like those suckers dipped in caramel, not my thing.
There you go. Good.
But I love green apples.
Good job.
That and artificial banana, they're no good.
Banana's never a good candy flavor, huh?
Yeah.
It's always weird. It's not
I
sweet
got a
enough.
brain. Yeah. I got a brain teaser for you lot.
Oh.
Nintendo World is planning to expand their space in Universal with Donkey Kong theme attractions and stores. There's no doubt Nintendo will also contract another expansion to the theme park for the eventual Zelda movie or whatever. So my question to you is this. What Zelda novelty food items or drinks that will be featured for the fantasy theme park in for this fantasy theme park in Super Nintendo World? However, the challenge is that this is Universal and not Disneyland. You can't be too creative. Think about something you would really, really want for this park, but as an equally boring concept outside of Zelda.
Dubious food.
Thank you and keep up the good work for you fine Minottis.
Dubious food. It's gonna be Lon Lon milk, like Lon Lon.
You're gonna drink Lon Lon milk.
Lon Lon milkshakes, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although Disney kind of had a challenge with that when they did it. They actually made it like not non-dairy because they, lactose intolerance and stuff like that.
Right. And I love blue milk at Galaxy's Edge very much.
But,
but Lon Lon milk's an easy one. What other?
I think they'll actually have dubious food. I think they'll
food.
make it fun. I think they'll do dubious food.
Yeah.
It'd be like actual food. It'd be kind of fun. Something like that.
I mean, they got to do something with the chickens, right?
Oh, you could do something like that. Yeah, that'd be fun, actually. That's a good one. So, for the non-theme parky people, today Universal is closing this big attraction in their Islands of Adventure theme park in Orlando, Poseidon's Fury, kind of last day for it. And this is an area of the park that it's rumored, not a really strong rumor, like do not take it as for granted. It could very well not be the case.
Right.
That maybe this is where a Zelda area could go, because this area was sort of themed around like adventure-y stories. It had like a Sinbad section and had this kind of Greek temple section, so relatively easy to adapt. Now, it's also right next to the Harry Potter section, and it would also just be very easy for them to just expand the Harry Potter section because that thing makes $1 zillion for them. Even though they're also adding a new Harry Potter section to the third theme park they're building right now, they may not be able to have enough. Poseidon's Fury, no, it has a bit of a bad rep. It's actually a walkthrough attraction. I've always liked it a lot. It's certainly,
I liked it better before they changed it.
There was a change. It has some really cool moments. It's weird because it is a walkthrough attraction, not tied to any IP. It is an artifact of an old time. It's basically about like these special effects. But it's pretty cool, actually. There's some pretty good YouTube videos you can probably watch. There's one part where you get to like walk through this tunnel of like a water vortex, and it's a really cool effect. You can even see that being repurposed for something Zelda-y. We've seen similar things. So
Right.
We'll see.
Okay. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, "Hey, Mike, happy Jeff's not here, so he doesn't have to talk about Escargoon.
Escargoon.
Minotti.
Yeah.
Yes. And mystery, probably AJ, the better Minotti.
There you go.
What and when is the next NSO online game being added to the service, and why is it Quest 64 coming out 5 minutes after you read this question? Go." Well, God, we still have stuff that was promised that hasn't come, right? Excite Bike and
We don't
1080
have
and
Excite Bike or 1080. So yeah, that I desperately
did we get a game? Did one come out in April?
We got Pokemon Stadium in April, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Which, whatever. Gosh, I mean, I'm desperate for more Game Boy Advance games. We've had one Game Boy Advance game.
This slow trickle. Like, what the hell?
I know. I wish it was faster. I mean,
just put them out.
I have
Who cares?
I have this Shmup craze, and I'm like, how hard can those be to get licenses for NSO? And there are some, like you can play Musha and like Thunder Force 2 on Genesis NSO. But where's Thunder Force 3? Or the one where you're like the sorcerer on the ground? I can't remember what that's called. There's a bunch. Even on Super Nintendo. Like where's like a Super R-Type? There's 2 R-Types for Super Nintendo. One's not good. The other one is. And UN Squadron, I think, is a good one too. That's not on there. So like, man, I get some of these. Like I know why Aladdin isn't on there. Like, come on. You have Thunder Force 2. Like where's Thunder Force 3? Thunder Force 4 isn't on there because they sell that as a Sega Aegis thing. Fine. Whatever. But there's still so many games from those libraries, or even Super Nintendo. I could still think of a ton, not even including Mario RPG. So, I hope there's like a big dump someday.
Right.
But I feel like this is going to be this trickle going for a long time now.
Oh, well. Low Rule says, "Evening, fellas. Put in your final predictions before Tears of the Kingdom releases. Does it win Game of the Year at the Keeleys?" It certainly feels like the kind of game that would win Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
Yeah, and look, I haven't played. I don't know.
Like-
I mean, my front runner is Resident Evil 4 right now. Big surprise, everybody. And those Resident Evil, there's been a lot of good Resident Evil games. I think Resident Evil 8 was lucky when it got nominated, but still it got nominated. Resident Evil 2 Remake got nominated, but got overshadowed by something. I think at some point, this incredible run for Resident Evil is going to deserve recognition. Maybe it could be this year. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't mean to yuck your yum because I know you love it, but I have a hard time seeing a remake winning in a year where we get a new Zelda, a new proper Bethesda game.
It's the remake thing is so inconsequential. It's a new game basically, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But again, I really like it, obviously. But there's some other heavy hitters here, like a Starfield. Maybe that's going to hit really big. Spider-Man 2. That could be a big deal also. And, there's going to be some stuff we didn't really see coming, for sure, hopefully.
Yeah, we still got surprises.
Like a Stray, but maybe actually more worthy of that spot. Stuff like that. That's guy.
Yeah.
Stray catching strays. Hey, it's going to be Chicory, too. There you go. Oh, God. We saw Final Fantasy 16, Diablo. I bet Diablo 4 won't. They're so baggage.
No,
there.
it won't.
Street Fighter 6 though.
16
good. 16
16 won't either, but
I bet 16,
it'll get nominated, but it won't.
It might
win.
be nominated. Yeah, I'd be surprised if it won. But again, I haven't actually played it. We'll see.
Yes, you have.
Okay, well, I haven't played the whole thing. That's true. I have actually played it, haven't I?
Yes. Evo Janice says, "Hello, Minottis. Is the NES actually better than most HD consoles, or is that mostly nostalgia talking?" I bet it's mostly nostalgia talking.
Yeah, I don't know if I would actually take. Well, it's hard to say if I would actually take an NES.
Let me ask you this: like when a new NES game would hit the NSO, did you legit stop everything, sit down, and play through it sight unseen?
It's not a new game, but I know what you mean. It depends. Like, what's the worst of the big HD consoles? Like a Wii U? Like I think an NES is better than a Wii U. Do I think an NES is better than a PlayStation 3? Probably. Although if you really told me it can only have one, that's a bit hard. It's hard to say like an NES is better than a PlayStation 5 right now, like even an Xbox One back in the day. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
there's definitely nostalgia is a big part of the NES's appeal these days, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's fun. Like I like that. I was just playing. I was playing Gradius for the first time in the NES last night. I was still having a lot of fun with that, but it is also over in like 30 minutes. There's also that.
Right.
So.
That too.
Different time.
Velocity Prime 1 says, "Last minute question. Have you seen the depressing Zelda ad?" I haven't, Mike.
I saw a little bit of it. Some guy on a bus. I didn't actually watch it though. When I see
he linked it here.
Well, I'm not Jeff. I'm not ready to play that for everybody. So.
Yeah, we're not going to push Mike's technical capabilities.
Yeah. Also, have you seen how they've been going for Zelda people? Absolutely not. Oh, does Jeff have a problem?
I'll put the link to it in the chat, and you guys can Gradius, Mike. It's Gradius.
That's what I said. When I say Gradius, it's Gradius.
Yeah,
I say it right. Did I say? I actually know this one. This isn't like Galaga or Galaga, whichever one's right.
That was still that night at the arcade was so confusing. This woman just comes up behind. She's like, "How do you pronounce Galaga?" And I was like, "What?
Is it Gradius?
Why are you asking?"
It is Gradius, not Gradius. Grades are us. Look, you know what I want to play is Parodius. You ever see Parodius? It's like
you made that up.
No. So Konami made Gradius. Thank you, Jeff. But they also made these games called Parodius, which is like their own parody games, but they play exactly the same. But like the levels are like in a bathhouse and like they're real goofy. You're just like actually like fighting some normal, like some giant woman who's like shooting you with tears and stuff like that. It looks incredible. We didn't get a whole lot of those over here in the West, but I really want to play some Parodius games. All
right, you have to stream that one.
There you go.
On original hardware. JD Camp says, "What weird gimmick do you think Nintendo will add to this next Switch? I think they will add pressure-sensitive buttons with even more HD or rumble to mimic button clicks like the MacBook trackpads. This will allow proper GameCube trigger emulation." Well, I mean, that's important.
That is very important. You're right. I don't know.
If Nintendo were smart, I don't think they should do anything crazy. Just make a literal Switch 2.
Just make
don't have
the
to go
gimmicks be
nuts.
that the hardware's better than you expected. There's a fun gimmick.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good gimmick.
I mean,
that's a real good gimmick.
You think I know it's Nintendo, but you think they would have to learn that? Man, we did a lot of stuff on the Switch that nobody cared about, like those IR sensors.
So you could do the chomping game in 1-2 Switch.
Right,
wow.
like exactly. So I would kind of hope, like, unless it's something like and Jeff was saying this on Bombcast, maybe it's gonna have a wireless HDMI signal. That's a gimmick, I guess. We'll see.
Go to the TV, yeah.
Yeah. Where's the IR sensor in the Switch? It's on the Joy-Cons over on the that
Yeah,
black
the right
part.
Joy-Con.
Yeah, I noticed that like last year. I was like, "What is this?" And Jeff's like, "That's the IR sensor." I was like, "What? Oh, right, that. Sure, okay." Next.
All right, the Jedi Wolf 5 says, "What's up, Minotti Brothers? I recently platinum Jedi Survivor and found myself enjoying the game less and less as I went for 100%. Have you all ever had a game become worse because you went for 100%? How often do you all 100% games? Very rarely. And if I beat a game and I want to keep playing it, I play it till I don't want to anymore. The only games I've ever 100%ed are Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, Batman Arkham Asylum. That might be it."
Yeah,
That's not my thing. If anyone who's followed me for any amount of time knows, I kind of have a little gaming ADD where I like to play a lot of things, and I'm ready to move on to the next thing usually if I beat a game. So yeah.
Yeah, I rarely do it. Maybe a bit more than you. Like 2 times I can stand out of my mind that I bothered doing it. Like, what? I better really like the game, and it better be really fun 200% it. So I did it for Mario Odyssey, and a lot of Mario games are like that, where actually it's pretty fun to 100% them to get all the stars or what have you. And like I remember doing it for Kingdom Hearts 2, because back then I was like, well, that's how you have to get the secret ending. And yeah, it's online on like proto YouTube at like 240p
on eBomb's World,
right? But like that's not the same. So I would actually bother back then. But no, and I don't want to say I don't have the platinum trophy sickness. People have fun. I am surprised how many people are like, well, of course I have to platinum this. Like, it's
like Greg
habit
Miller's
for
a
some people.
sick man.
Yes. Well, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I never caught that bug. Even Resident Evil 4, which I loved, and like I had a goal of, well, I'm going to beat the hardest difficulty. But once I did that, it's not like I got every achievement in the game, and it's not like I was.
You haven't platinumed the game?
No,
That's weird.
But no, because there's always these things like some of the trophies are always like, now go to this spot and shoot 2 chickens and then act like I'm not gonna do that shit. I don't care. I'm not gonna run down a series of tasks.
I almost platinumed Grim Fandango when I played it on the PS4. No, I played it on my Vita, maybe.
Jesus.
And I missed like 2 conversations that you couldn't go back to that would have platinumed it. And I've played it again since, just on other platforms. I'm like not gonna go back and play it specifically on the PS4 so I could get that platinum trophy. Like it's just not gonna happen.
Well, there are some trophy or some achievements in Resident Evil 4 tied to doing specific challenge runs, and maybe I'll do those someday because they're fun. Like one where you don't talk to the shopkeeper at all, one you don't use any healing items, one you only use the pistol and knife. Like yeah, maybe I'll do those for fun, but not because I'm trying to like 100%.
Right.
Again, if I'm not having fun with it, I'll just stop. I'll move on. It's pretty rare. Most of the time when I roll credits on a game, I'm done. I move on to the next thing.
All right. Fudsack says, Mike, how many stars/moons do you think will be in the next Mario game? Mike, I think he's wearing a wire.
That's incredible. Interesting. I think because I am at a point where I don't really expect the next Mario game to be Mario Odyssey 2 anymore. I kind of wish it would be. But at this point, no. But I still wonder if they are going to go with that formula of having a lot more collectibles in it. So, we just talked about Odyssey. I forget how many you can actually collect because you can buy a bunch, but I did get, 999. It might just be that again. Crazy. I bet it will be a lot. I think that system works out really well. I thought that was super fun. Maybe it'll be 1,000 to one up the last one.
There you go. All right, Vision 49 says, since it's pretty much a given that Tears of the Kingdom will sell gangbusters, where do you think the Zelda series goes next? I mean, I think you could still do the open world, but on a completely new map.
Yeah, I don't think they can do, like, the direct sequel thing again. I think there's going to have to be a bit of a world refresh. It can't be the same characters. It probably has to be a little bit of an art design refresh, too. Right. I think people, whether that means, like, leaning more into something like Williger again, or it's been a while now, honestly, since they did maybe the grittier, darker Zelda. Usually that's not really my bag. I could maybe go for it at this point.
Right.
It's been a
Yeah,
while now.
it's time.
I could, like, if they wanted to make the Zelda game that actually looked like that Wii U teaser before we got Breath of the Wild, or even like that old GameCube teaser before it was Wind Waker. Yeah, maybe I'll be into that. But like maybe you do another kind of boat themed one or something. You could do an open world that's maybe less climbing and horse riding and figure out something else with it. So, Jeff says working out after drinking was a mistake. It sure was, Jeff. Oh boy, drink some water, buddy.
Yeah.
Lots
of water.
But it's something to shake it up.
Yeah.
Like the
DMC,
formula is still good. I still want this kind of like, we had a lot of games that are like Ocarina of Time. We could still do that with Breath of the Wild, but there needs to be a bigger shakeup than what we got from, again, seemingly from Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry to cut you off, AJ. Please continue.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff, does Mike do that all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Man, this is annoying. DMC, Depressed Me Crying, says, hello, Mike. Who's going to tell him that Arby's is the real boomer pick Minotti? And AJ, Mike, but with better opinions, Minotti. Now listen. Arby's,
Fine
all
establishment.
know.
Although
we do have to admit that like your grandpa like goes and hangs out with the boys where they like drink coffee and solve the world's problems. Yeah, our grandpa, they hung out at the Struthers, Ohio Arby's.
To be clear, the reason why I have such an affinity for Arby's is because my grandpa used to take me there all the time. So
yeah, our uncle worked there,
and he was even a boomer. He was that generation before. What was that? The greatest generation?
The greatest generation. Yeah.
What the hell? That they get to tie that one up. Oh, we fought in wars. Like, damn it.
Let's see. He continues. Did you play games together much as kids? If so, what's the games you have the best memories playing together? Okay, this is a fun question.
Yeah, we did a lot.
Because when you were really little, I think you talked about this before. You like to watch me play games. I was the original Twitch streamer.
I watched you play a ton
to the point
that
it annoyed me because I'd want to go do like something else. Like, no, play Mega Man 2 so I could watch you.
I would.
No, I don't want to play Mega Man 2.
I'd just sit there on my butt and watch you play Mega Man. I remember when the Capcom logo came up, when you would beat it either, I think by cheating often, because we would use Game Genie. Did you beat any of those actually?
Yes, I did.
That's impressive for back then.
Absolutely, I did.
But the Capcom thing would go up, and I was like jump up like Capcom, screaming the name Capcom. Yes. Good stuff.
But let's see. We played a lot of. I can remember playing Chip and Dale's together a lot, and getting mad at each other. The Turtles games, of course.
I say TMNT 2 and 3, especially 2, though. I think we played a lot of TMNT Turtles. I don't think we had that first one that was bad. Or not as good.
No, we did. We did. You've said this before, and we definitely.
I have no memory of playing that one.
100%, we had it. Yeah.
Even more so with Chris, to be honest, our other brother. I'd play a lot of Bubble Bobble, specifically at our grandma's house. Like she had an
she had a Nintendo at her house, and she had Bubble Bobble and Mario, of course, and Duck Hunt. But
we played a lot of Bubble
Bobble there.
I loved Bubble Bobble. That was a really fun 2-player game.
Beyond that, when
the fighting games came out, we were much more of a Mortal Kombat family, actually. So.
Yes, because it was taboo.
Yeah, well, exactly. We were into the kind of hype and the gore and all that stuff back then. It was
right.
A lot of fun. Yeah, Michael James, thank you for joining the Lincoln tier channel. I appreciate it. But yeah, we play a bit of everything. I know, again, me and Chris did a lot of Kirby Superstar and some Kirby 3 and stuff like that. But we were playing a lot of games together. All three of us were really into them.
Right. I remember one specific memory is when there was a Bomberman game for the Game Boy Advance, and of course we had the weird 3-way link cable for it so we could play multiplayer. And we were gonna play it on a flight. And we realized it'd be a really bad idea to talk about playing Bomberman on an airplane.
This is after 9/11, and you just kept being like, "Let's play Bomberman once we get on the plane."
No.
I want to play Bomberman.
We had the idea. No, we had the idea. You're misconstruing this. We swapped out the word bomb for bananas. We were playing Banana Man.
Yeah, because after I said, AJ, please stop screaming the word bomb in this crowded airport, you maniac.
So you didn't blow up somebody. You peeled them. So that's what we did. We played Banana Man and we peeled each other.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, to be clear, we started calling that because I was getting concerned about you screaming the word bomb repeatedly.
I did not scream it repeatedly in an airport.
It was probably January 10th, 2002.
First of all, it was the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport, so there was nobody there.
Really?
I remember
out there.
Because we flew from there to Sanford, Florida.
All right, these details are granular and uninteresting. Next.
No, it just shows that I actually remember what happened.
Making shit up.
Final question from One Up versus CPU. What if game review writers went on strike? Well, they don't have a union, so
Yeah.
then you have to go to YouTube for your reviews. So think about that.
Yeah, maybe I'd rather we did it. That's like Lionel Hutz. Like, imagine a world without lawyers and everybody's like dancing around happy. Imagine a world without video game reviewers. Ugh. No, we better not realize that people wouldn't miss us. We better keep this shit going. We're very important, actually. Our jobs really matter. Thank you. I'm gonna knock Jeff off his treadmill. What if I killed Jeff Grubb right now? Welcome my new permanent Nintendog, AJ Minotti. That's fantastic. All right. So that's it. That's it on that.
That's it.
All right, we got some more super chats actually to go through here. So let's do that. All right, I think this next one here is from. Actually, I'm going to refresh this because last time some of them weren't showing up, so I'm going to make sure. But I believe our next one is from Forrest Hollingsworth, who says, "What 3 games would be mandatory for GameCube NSO?" So that's interesting. I think Melee is the top one.
Yeah, Melee. Sunshine? Yeah.
You still have to do Sunshine, even though it's like not one of the top 3 best GameCube games. Obviously, it's the Mario game. Now, then it gets a little weirder because we already have Metroid Prime. So
and they're not going to put Wind Waker on there.
Well, it's like you could, but then it's like you have Wind Waker instead of that HD version. It's kind of like,
Ooh, I like that. F-Zero GX. Let's get that on there.
F-Zero would be cool. I mean, again, that's preferable, but if it's mandatory, you probably do just put Wind Waker on there as the other one. L. Grug says, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 soundtracks sold more outside of Japan, which surprised the developer. Will Nintendo actually learn from this? Hopefully. No, I think Nintendo gets it. Hey, there was a time where we just we weren't going to get Xenoblade Chronicles 1. They thought that stuff was so niche. With Fire Emblem and this, they know that there's an audience for this stuff in the West. We don't have to worry ever again about Nintendo making some RPG and it not coming out here anymore. So that's nice.
Yeah, those days are gone.
Even the days of not getting Mother 3. If they made a new Mother, it's going to come out here now. So that's nice.
Yep.
Elgrug also asks, was Mike the first Minotti to become Baldati? I think I was, actually. I think I beat you even.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to go get the haircut for the first time, I showed them a picture of you, and I said, make me look like him.
Oh, really? That's funny. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus, Andrew. Get your own style, man. See, Jeff got a haircut?
Oh, did he? Oh, my.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good. It looks, he's listening. It looks great. I'm joking. It looks good. Propaganda Panda says, is lime the official Skittles flavor of Last of the Nintendogs? Yes, it is official. I'm saying it right now while Jeff's not here to fight this. He's too busy not dying on his treadmill. It's definitely lime.
I like a good lime.
Yeah.
Did I tell you Sophia was just eating the lemon slices from our water when we went to dinner on Saturday and enjoyed it?
She's a little garbage machine. What's that thing called? Garbage
disposal.
Yeah, she's a little garbage.
Not really. She just likes lemons. I don't know. They're not sour to her.
She eats anything, man. Good on her.
She likes sour things, so yeah.
She does. All right. Well, that's good. B. Masune says, with the way Xenoblade 3 DLC ended and Bandai working with Nintendo for remaster, along with a trademark renewal, what's the chance of it's being Xenosaga? Probably very little. If anything, I think it'll be Xenoblade X, right? The Wii U one we haven't had yet. That seems to make a lot more sense. Xenosaga, I mean, for one thing, someone else published those. I forget. It wasn't Nintendo, so that's difficult. I haven't played that DLC. People like it a lot, apparently. That Future Imperfect or whatever it's called. So I need to check that out.
If all the games weren't coming out for the next 2 months, I got my Switch voucher to get Zelda, and I was tempted to just use it to get Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and play it. But I'm like, I'm not going to play that for the next 2 months. If we get to July and I'm like, okay, I've got nothing going on for a month, maybe, and I'll worry about Pikmin 4 later, but it's probably just going to go towards Pikmin 4. But I'll wait. I don't have to pre-order it now. There's no reason.
TR Bucket says, forget Arrow Talk. What Tears of the Kingdom food are you most looking forward to cooking? I want to see what's up with the dubious food. I want to see if it's got a new look. We can make super dubious food. What happens if we put dubious food on an arrow? Huh?
Ooh, a dubious food arrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Very dubious.
Oh, so Sean, so Xenogears, Sean clarifies with Square, and Xeno Saga was Bandai Namco. Well, there you go. They'll just buy Bandai Namco, like I said, and then they'll.
Yeah, that's why they're gonna buy Bandai Namco.
Yeah, Xeno Saga. That was, you want to talk about an era of niche RPGs. That was a bit niche, actually. And then, Grug says, thank you, Grug. I see your name here quite a few times. So it says, also, just remembered, why did AJ try to kill Mike after he bought that Lord of the Rings trilogy book in that player's guide? Seems excessive. Oh, did you hear me? I just told the story about the car crash.
Oh, where did you tell it? I missed it.
I forget. I think on Game Pesticides. Don't worry. I said you didn't do anything wrong. It was just complete freak nature accident. Good times.
Yeah, it was a really bad storm that day, and yes.
Yeah.
We celebrate it every year, July 14th.
Yeah, that's right. I remember the exact day, July 14th. Fun time.
That was coming up on 23 years ago. That happened. That's weird.
It's all been bonus time since then. Let's not be that dramatic.
That's right. But hey, wear your seatbelt, kids.
Wear your seatbelt, because I'll tell you what, it flipped the bitch. We were upside. Like
no,
it was.
I mean,
it was the thing where we were literally upside down. We had to take the seatbelt off and fall down onto the floor. Yeah. So without the seatbelts, that'd be bad. Wear seatbelts. They are there for a good reason. Like statistically, you are probably going to be in some kind of a car accident in your life. I hope it's not as bad as ours. It'll probably be nothing. But wear your seatbelt. Now that we got okay, that was a very touching.
That's your serious moment for the week. Yeah.
Yes. Now, anyways, about lime Skittles. Burrito says, "Can I get the most Italian Big Wolf you can manage, please? Points if harmonized. We cannot harmonize like this.
No. How do you make an Italian wolf?
A wolf.
Yeah, I gotta get into Italian mode here. Hey, wolf.
No, what a dog? I'm your cousin Vinny. You got so big of a wolf.
Yeah, you got a wolf. You got a wolf.
All right. Even I think that was offensive, and I'm Italian. T Bucket says, cast Pauly Shore's Link. His role in that Pinocchio movie is perfect for Link. Obviously, I wish that was on Amazon.
No, cast Pauly Shore, but it will be like Link won't talk, so it'll just be Pauly Shore in the studio going, yeah.
And then Phil Spencer says, Xbox stands behind the comments of Beef Hammer. Wow. Damn, I shit on one of your games. That sucks ass. I was getting I was getting a little annoyed. It's like I talk about Redfall 3 times. People are like, wow. People are just like, whoa. People just can't move on. I was like, bitch, it came out last week.
Right.
We got to talk about it for more than a day. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's like, look,
also,
you didn't make
really,
this
really
game.
Bad, so
whoever you are who is mad about this, you didn't make this game. Probably, maybe you did. But then you maybe
you did.
You can be mad at me if you want to, but the people who are mad at me probably didn't. Like, it's not a personal attack on you. All right, that's it for super chats. If you guys want to squeeze any more of those out, we will get to them. I promise. But AJ, what you been playing any Nintendo games recently? Been ramping up.
I've been dipping into some stuff. I've been revisiting some old stuff. So I bought Pokemon Violet the day it came out, and it was right before we went to Disney, because I also bought copies for my girls. And I was like, okay, they can play this in the car, new, exciting, and then I'll play with them. And they really fell off it quickly. Soph is still playing Pokemon Shield.
Interesting.
For whatever reason. So the other week I was like, I guess I should start this since I own it and see what this is actually about for myself. And I kind of forced myself to get past the technical issues, which are numerous and egregious. But once you do, I really do like the structure of the game. I really dig the way that it was like, look, do you want to do gym battles? Go this way. Do you want to go explore and catch Pokemon? Go this way. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like how it's like that kind of open. I do miss just throwing a ball to catch Pokemon in the field.
I did like that a lot.
Like Arceus. But the one thing that it did do that I never heard anyone talk about, so I kind of discovered for myself, was the whole thing where if you have a companion Pokemon out, they'll just run around and kind of fight things, and you get the experience for that. That's really nice, actually. So yeah, I've been picking at it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's weirdly refreshing.
Well,
so it's which makes the technical problems all the more frustrating, I guess. And yeah, I'm not going to play it for 2 months now.
Yeah,
but,
well, I know you. You're also not going back to it either. So enjoy
we'll see.
Enjoy your time with it while it lasts.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Pokemon Violet. I went back to Breath of the Wild, like a lot of people are right now. I realized I never did the Terrytown quests.
Yeah, I didn't do that either. That whole thing.
Well, the reason I never did it because like the first person you have to find, the Goron, was in a place I'd never been to because that game's massive. He's like in a mine somewhere that I never went to. So I finally did just like look up a guide of where to find him. Then the rest of it fell into place pretty easily after that. But it was fun. Like again, it wasn't anything hard or sweaty doing that content. So it just kind of like got me back in the world, back with the controls. I was like, okay, I am really, really excited to play like this kind of game again. So that was a lot of fun to go back to. But the last thing I want to talk about that might interest you if you're getting ready for Breath of the Wild, though it's probably too late to order one of these now, but we talked about the Nixie GameCube Joy-Con controller thing. And I got that, and it's cool, but because of the way it's laid out, it's really not practical for like playing most Switch games on it, because like the A and B buttons for where most games want them. But I did go back on their site after a friend recommended it to me, and let me get the name of this here because I saved it. It's the Nixie Hyperion Meteor Light wireless joypad with 8-color LED for the Nintendo Switch and OLED. So this thing is right here, and it is very much so just kind of like more of a standard controller layout with really comfortable sticks. This little ring of LED lights, you can program it to be different colors. It can wave through colors. So that's kind of fun. And it's super comfortable. I use a satisfied grip with my Switch usually, but it's kind of bulky and you can't dock it when it's in that thing. So this still, you can dock it like anything else. It just makes the Switch easier to hold. It's got programmable back buttons. And then they also give you like this little rail, and you could just slide the grips on it and just turn it into a Pro controller. So yeah, it is very, very nice.
Does it have a dead zone? Like I like that Nixie controller. It had a bit of a dead zone on the analog stick to me, or at least it felt like it did with whatever game I was playing at the time. So I kind of switched it out. I don't know if that one has it or not.
I haven't noticed anything with it. Granted, I played Pokemon and Breath of the Wild with it. It's nothing too intense. I dipped into some Metroid too with it. I didn't notice any problems. So yeah, I'm a fan. I really like it. The D-pad's nice. The buttons have a good click feel to them, and it just looks cool. So yeah, very nice.
I don't know if you're looking at the stream, AJ, I think who posted this, but we have an episode 1 meme of us.
Excellent.
It's pretty good.
That's very good. That makes me happy.
Yeah, somehow long. Oh, it was Forrest. Forrest did that with 2 R's. Thank you, Forrest. Good one there.
God, we really like when our heads are freshly shorn and we're trimmed with our Manscaped trimmers on our beard.
Yeah, once we both went bald, it got way worse. Like we always looked alike, but
well, the glasses don't help too. I mean, without glasses, is it a little like we have different eyes, we have
different eye colors. Yeah. What's weird is that because your light is brighter or something, you actually look paler. Oops, you look paler than me right now.
Yeah, I'm usually darker than you. I need better camera lighting here.
For the audio listeners, it's the episode 1 meme with that one, the guy from the Trade Federation saying this is getting out of hand. Not thanks, AJ. Newt Gunray. He says, "God damn it, AJ, this is getting out of hand." Now there are 2 of them. It is the pic of me and AJ. Jesus. I guess also for the audio listeners, we look a lot alike. If you can't see.
Yeah, turns out.
So there you go.
Turns out.
All right.
But yeah, that's it, Mike. What about you? What are you playing?
So, I was working my way through those Pixel remasters, and I beat 1, really liked it. So then I went to 2 right after. Like 2 does get some flack because its leveling structure is weird. It's just like whenever you do something in a battle, it just has a chance of increasing. There are no levels. So
kind of like old school Elder Scrolls style.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like so if you hit somebody with a weapon, your strength might go up. If you get attacked, your defense might go up. Even like with magic, that's where it kind of gets annoying because like you'll get late magic. Like, oh, I finally got Ultima. Well, if you want Ultima to be any good, you have to level up Ultima by using it a bunch, right? So
weird.
You have to,
like it should just be good.
Right. So it's like, well, I got to spend like hours grinding Ultima at the level 10, and I already have fire and all that stuff. But
now, did you like use any of the like the stuff in the Pixel Remaster to speed that up or anything, or were you being too much of a purist?
No, I'm a purist. Like they have like an auto battle thing that's just kind of normal, and I'll do that sometimes. But nah, I don't mess around with that as guy. I mean, both Final Fantasy 1 and 2 are funny because they aren't very hard games, and then like the last boss is suddenly challenging, and 1 way more so actually. Like Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster was just very easy in a fun, pleasant way. Partly because I do like to grind here or there, so I'm generally over leveled. But all of a sudden, the final boss was like took me a few tries. But Final Fantasy 2, that game does get a lot of flack. I like it a lot still. It's a simple story, but it is interesting just how much more ambitious it is on that front compared to Final Fantasy 1.
Right.
Yeah, like there's some kind of neat stuff going on. Really good music, and again, the arrangements here are incredible. Like some of my favorite tracks from the series are even here. Like the Rebel theme is really good. The theme for the last dungeon. The last dungeon in this game is actually one of my favorites. It's Pandemonium, which like is straight out of Paradise Lost, like the capital city of hell, and it's like literally that in this. Like it's funny because like you start, it's like that incredible classic JRPG power like growth. It's like here's 3 teenagers, and at the end it's like we are at the capital of hell, and it's like, man, how did this happen? But the music there is incredible. They even like have like vocals on it. The remastered music is so good in these. That's like a giant highlight.
I'm so frustrated because when the Fixed Masters first came out, I bought Final Fantasy VI on PC. Because I was like, oh, this is great. I can play it on my Steam Deck, and it's awesome. And, the font sucks, but you can mod it. And then they announced these console versions, which, beyond the font, have other features, like switching the soundtracks. And, like I said, if you want, like, the things you could adjust the XP rates and the random encounter rates. And everyone just assumed, like, oh, well, they'll bring that to PC. And they didn't. And the only reasoning I could find was in a Famitsu interview. So it was a translation. But they asked about it. He's like, well, because, like, I have to also come to the mobile version. Maybe some old Android phones don't have the memory for both soundtracks. I'm like, and that's why my 4K gaming rig isn't going to get the update.
Even that is so much less. Like, honestly, the new music's great. Like, if you don't do that, whatever, it's nice to be able to switch. It's messed up to not put the font in, for crying out loud. Because as much as I love this, I couldn't do it with that original font.
Yeah. So now I'm like, well, God, do I bite the bullet and say, well, I guess I just own Final Fantasy VI twice and like get this on Switch or what? But again, timing. I'm not going to play these right now anyway, so I guess I'll wait.
Sure.
So maybe I'll get lucky and they will bring it to PC in the next 3 or 4 months.
And that's
so we'll see.
I have a timing thing too. It's kind of nice that I beat this right when I did. So now instead of moving right to 3, I know, okay, I'll play Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, you wait.
I'm excited to play 3 though, because I only ever played that DS remake of it. Which, was, it did a lot. Like, it, like, made them named characters. It added more story elements. I think, actually, I'll like 3 with less of that. Like, 3 was the first game with a real job system, like one where you can change your class in the middle of the game, and you get these new jobs. So I'm excited to try that out, and then continue on through 4, 5, and 6. I've been having a lot of fun going back to these games. I mean, me and AJ had our own podcast for a long time called Exploding Barrel. We did that for a long time. We started in like 2007, and like when we started it, at that time was when I was playing through all the Final Fantasies for the first time.
Because you were helping me move out of my house from college, and you saw my copies of 1 and 2 for GBA and asked to borrow it, and I said, yeah.
And it was like and the Final Fantasy 3 remake was relatively new, so it occurred to me like I could actually just play through. Like I did play 12, and I beat it, and I liked it. It's like, well. Now I could play through 1 through 10 pretty easily these days. And even back then, like my PlayStation 3 was the one that played PlayStation 1 discs, so I just bought those used, and they weren't very expensive back then either to get like Final Fantasy 9 and 8, which is funny to imagine now. Even today, they aren't as bad as you might think. So yeah, I had a great time doing that, but it is fun. Like I haven't touched a lot of these, really any of these 6 since then, so it's been a good time going back to them. I've been really happy with it. But like again. After beating it, though, like I have some like Switch time before Tears of the Kingdom, and I found this YouTube channel called Shmup Junkie, and I love gamer YouTube channels where they make videos that are like, here's a 2 or 3 hour long video, and it's just like a list of like this, and he'll do like, here's every shmup ever released for the Genesis, and it's like a 3 hour video, and he goes over each one, he talks about it, and then he grades it. I love shit like that. Give me something I could turn on for 3 hours while I'm just sitting up in bed playing through Final Fantasy 2, So, but like, so I like literally watched like tons of these videos, and I was like, man, I want to play some shmups. I'm in a shmuppy mood now. So I kind of went through like what are like the really good ones that I have on and I still haven't played yet. So I played the original Gradius. Don't get mad at me on NES, and that was fun. Actually, was better than I would expect from an 8-bit shmup. So that's good. But then Musha, I know, is a big one on the Genesis NSO that I haven't played by Compile. That was really good. That's a lot of fun. You know what? These are games that are really nice to have that rewind feature, especially because in these games, like, you know, when you die, you lose all your power-ups. It can be kind of rough to get back to it. And hey, it would be fun to actually be able to learn it enough to do a full like playthrough,
like a clean run.
A clean run.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but hey, right now you can kind of practice by going through it and using that rewind liberally if you want to, and kind of learning boss patterns. But and I beat those and really enjoyed it. So now I bought R-Type. I forget what it's called, but it's a collection of R-Type 1+2, and it kind of has like a remastered mode and an original. So, and that's like another one. Like, I know R-Type's one of the big shmups. I just never really played them, so I'm gonna give myself a little R-Type education here. I think in these couple of days before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. I think that'll be fun.
No Sylphie though.
No Sylphie. He talked about, because he did every shmup released on Sega Genesis, and he included the Sega CD games on there. He talked about Sylphie, and he had nice things to say about it.
I love Sylphie.
Yeah, Sylphie was a spectacle back in the day.
Yeah, right.
That is,
it really
for sure.
was.
That's for sure. Well, man, we are coming to the end here. I don't see any more super chats. I think we're gonna start kind of getting to the end of things here. I'm gonna.
All right.
Yeah. So you're not gonna hear any music. When you hear me sing "It's Time to Say Goodbye," you can start doing that. But AJ, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at AdgeGuy, where I'm not as active as I once was, but if you message me, I'll find it. Go to 90sdisney.com. It's this logo right here. And listen to our 90s Disney podcast. We just did an episode on, what was on, Mike?
Wilderness
the Wilderness
Lodge.
Lodge, the hotel you stayed at. So you can hear Mike talk about the fun single-man vacation he had after our vacation. Good episode there. And then we have our 4-year anniversary of the show
Really?
coming up on June 1st. Yeah.
That'll be
And
fun.
we're going to do episode, because
Master Ask Guy.
because the dragon caught fire, we're going to be doing Phantasmic. So yeah, that'll be that episode.
We'll do a
Mike,
0.5
what about
between
you?
them with character meals too. Hey guys, Jeff's gonna be back on Thursday. Episode 300 of Game Master Size. We're gonna have fun. We'll try to make it special. We're gonna decide what is the best video game of all time. Let's do it. Thank you
Of
for listening,
all
everybody.
time.